Kanpai!
Just hands! As best as I can do anyway. Hi everyone, welcome to Kanpai Cast, episode 134. I almost said Kanpai News because I'm so used to introing that show. It's spring 2023. We've all got spring fever, and we've got a ton of shows to review because of it. We invested way too much effort into watching shows this season, and we're gonna have to seriously pare them back. But before we can pare any of them out, we're gonna bring them all our impressions to you. In just a few minutes. I guess. Hey, how are you guys doing this week?
I'm going to be glad to get rid of so many of the shows I started.
So much disappointment.
Sitting here in awe. I just want to make it clear for the record that I'm employed in a place where I can't have like a second monitor on. I've got to work my hands, and so maintaining 8 shows for this season is quite a lot for me.
Wait, do you think I do this while I work?
Xeno has 22.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
and
I've got like 11 or 12.
No, I'm not dropping most of them.
I want to make that clear. He's started. He's maybe only watched one episode from one of them, but most of them, this is 3 episodes that he's got to. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of 22 shows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nearly 100 shows, or 100 episodes. It's not.
Think of the things he could do with that time. He could revive some of his machinimas with that.
The fuck I can. Anyway, let's keep going.
Wow. Right. So, before we start, just the usual housekeeping stuff. Like the video. We that's the best way you can show YouTube that you like us. And it's the best way you can show us that you like us. No, actually, the best way that you can show us that you like us is to comment on the video, telling us that all our opinions are wrong and what the right ones are. And if you're not already subscribed to the video and you're enjoying this, I don't know why you would with me hosting it right now, but why not subscribe? Subscribe for Xeno. Xeno loves your... Xeno's actually worth subscribing for. And
22 shows. 22 shows subscriptions.
22 shows, which is why I've subtitled this episode, It's a Race to the Bottom for Xeno.
I know where the bottom is. I found the bottom.
Right, so shall we get into it?
Yeah.
Yes, let's.
As soon as I refresh this page, so my notes actually come up. Oh no. Have I not set this to the right?
No, you haven't.
Oh no!
You're gonna have to ad lib the whole thing.
Shit, I can't do that.
100% ad lib.
Ah!
Do it.
Quick!
I can do it.
The powers you've gained in Notice Me Senpai.
I actually probably can do Yatagarasu. So that's what I'm starting out with is Yatagarasu. Xeno, if you wouldn't mind flipping that over for me, thank you.
Yeah, bro, I got it. No problem, bro.
So this one, I was really kind of excited about this one because you know me and my historical period drama type stuff. But this is a, oh gosh, I know it's a Nothing Special. I think it's a Nothing Special 2-star. And the reason for that is it's just so blatant. It's like watching Apothecary Diaries, but instead of a mystery that's trying to make you think and explore things and has intelligent stuff going on the side of it, it all feels very blatant, very like, oh, this is exactly what's happening. None of the characters seem to understand this or know it, but you, the audience, they're just going to spell it all out for you. So essentially what we've got going on here is this is based on an actual Shinto mythological creature called the Yatagarasu. Which is a 3-legged crow that's often seen as like a spirit guide. But in this, they're a whole group of people that live around a sacred mountain. They're like 4 houses on the outskirts, and then the one ruling house in the middle. And the mountain is supposed to like touch the heavens and commune with God, and so they're the servants of God. Blah 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 blah. What it effectively ends up being is, the bastard child of Apothecary Diaries and... Oh, fuck, what was the other one I said? I can't remember now. It was in my notes and I can't remember. Anyway, so it's got shades of Apothecary Diaries in as much as you've got the royal palace with the 4 concubines, and they're all kind of competing to get with the emperor's new son. but in this case, instead of a hidden prince and a revealed prince, it's the older brother was initially going to be the new, the crown prince, but his little brother, it's discovered when he's born, is a true prince. And what that means is that he can turn into a golden raven, or golden crow, unlike the rest of them who can only turn into regular crows. And that's all well and good, I suppose. But then they introduce another character who's from one of the minor nobles who lives out in the countryside, and it's very, very clear that he is also related to the royal bloodline. And it's just like, okay, you can already tell where this is going. He's going to be they send him to the castle to work, or the palace to work with the actual crown prince, basically doing errands for him. It's this kid right here, right? And it's very clear that he's just going to be in the palace, learning the ways. He's going to end up getting with one of the concubines who's already shown an interest in him, and it's going to create all kinds of conflict. And there's scheming from the mother to try and the empress, to try and kill the second son, who is not her son, so that her son, who is the first son, can actually go back to being the next emperor. And it's all like really spelled out. I don't like it. I'm dropping this one. Maybe for a younger audience, sure, but not me. That's really all I have to say about it.
So, what's the animation like? Because these stills, these look pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, there's definitely quality put into the animation work, and the voice acting is fine. It's just really the script and the story.
That's fair enough. Cool. Right. Do we move on to the next one then?
Yeah, sure. Who's going next?
It is I. All right.
It is Xeno.
So, I'm just gonna preface this. A lot of the shows that I'm reviewing are not the best. The best one I am going to review, I will actually review it for last. Because I actually kind of want to look forward towards talking about something. But talking about that, I'm going to talk about...
Sorry, quickly. This is one of the crows, essentially. This is the size they turn into.
Right. But I feel like I'm going to talk about the lowest bar of this season.
Black. Oh, well, whatever.
I don't know, Nasuth. But the lowest bar for me this season, by far, is the banished former hero lives as he pleases.
Yes.
I have not seen such bad animation in a long time, to the point of drifting dragons. Not the series Drifting Dragons. I'm talking about a dragon doing a drift, because and they don't actually animate the feet, right? They got smoke trails covering.
So it's a Gundam, just gliding along, but actually Gundams make sense when they do that.
I wish, because this dragon's missing a wing. So that makes even less sense. But anyway, so oh god, I'm gonna give this a 1-star pass, right? And I'm also going to preface this: I could not finish this. This was painful to watch. So, like, I struggled with the first episode. I did not watch 2 and 3. I got the stills and had zero interest. This series also massively instilled me to spot the number of shows this season that just have side portrait shots. No 3/4 like this. No direct facing. Just 100% conversations this way. So
I remember you talking to me in laws about this image right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
one may wonder,
can't
what
see.
the fuck is this? Yeah.
They copy paste this exact dog like 2 more times. I just say dog, whatever it is. It's a mess. It's a mess, is what it is.
No shading.
And so it's not the shading to me that's the problem. It's everything else about it.
Well, there's no sense of depth to it.
Yeah.
Right? There's no perspective. There's no nothing. And it's just so like, oh my god. So it is bad. The series, and it is your generic reincarnation with the main hero being Blandy McBland, does whatever the hell he pleases, and it is not inspiring in any way, shape, or form. I do not recommend watching this. Unless, like, it's for a punishment or some form of drinking. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this animation.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even animated. You can tell it's bad. So, but, like...
She's looking over her shoulder. Believe us.
Yeah, honestly. They're on the same plane of existence, honestly. But again, like, you know, Loz is actually watching this. I don't know if he's still watching it, and he says, like, you know, it's not that bad. But he recently came back and said, like, the main protagonist is the most generic individual ever, and they have no wants or desires. They just go along for the ride. So I'm surprised this even exists. So I don't know if you have any questions.
No,
Not really.
It's just weird when you look at it.
Such a low bar.
It genuinely worries me.
Yeah.
Like, some parts of it are fine, but some parts of it are just so bad.
Like, this is the beginning scene, and that's it. The rest of it is just...
Yeah, that's the key animation they would probably use to pull you in, and that is just basic.
Yeah. There is... We do have some screenshots of the dragon, and honestly, it... I don't think they know what perspective is. Anyway.
No.
Alright, go on. Let's go on, Thaylien.
So I'm going to pick up my my lowest one of this one, which is Chillin in Another World with level 2 super cheat powers. Now, this one is definitely my lowest at the moment. It is a nothing special 2 star. It's because it just doesn't really do anything that you don't expect from modern power fantasy isekai. Okay? The guy is summoned to another world, and his stats appear to be really low. And then he gets to level 2, and suddenly his stats are, and I quote, infinite. You literally got a little infinity symbol next to them, like a video game. Right? Whereas he's also summoned at the same time as a guy that got 999 points in all his stats, and that guy gets nothing out of leveling up. And yeah, stop smirking at the magical bondage up there. That was silly. So the weird thing about this is it's an isekai. The isekai, the guy from another fantasy world, so he's kind of familiar with everything that's going on. It's just, from one fantasy world to another. So now he's powerful in this one.
I kind of say, I do actually quite like the fact that he was isekai'd from not modern day Japan.
Yes, there is that. And that's actually kind of fun. It's not the only show this season that takes, a person from a fictional world and isekais them into another fictional world. But it seems to be just for the waifu bait. They obviously really wanted to go all in on this wolf girl as their main character, as their main waifu, and so they've, the entire opening sequence is about her, the close sequence, everything, and bringing this guy. This is him in his original world, and it's so far it's just the build-up, the first 3 episodes of a generic isekai. I would give this a pass if not for, a couple of, as I say, the slightly unique concept of being from another fantasy world, and also for the fact that they haven't immediately built him a harem out of all the girls he's actually got to know.
Surprising.
So he's actually he's settling down with the white-haired girl, the wolf girl, and all the other potential, shenanigans are accompanied by her being extremely jealous. But then there's these little things that say, they actually have somebody on the staff who wants to write something good, who wants to portray something good, but everything else is just not. So they do.
You say on the staff, but is this
section-
based on an original work, or is this based on a light novel?
It's on a manga.
We can find.
It's on a manga.
Can find out.
Yeah. No, I did check up. It's from a manga. And
yeah. So okay, you say somebody on the staff, but it's probably the mangaka.
Yeah. So the writers obviously found something he likes about something. So the other female characters are brought in. One of them can cook. And you briefly see the wolf girl get upset, but what does she do in the very next episode? She goes out and finds a place that can teach her to cook, where they're actually holding cooking lessons. And then, a week later or so, or 2 weeks later, she's actually cooking meals. So,
just to point out, the system actually says it was based on a light novel.
Okay, so it might have come from a light novel, but there is a manga. So I checked that off when I was looking earlier.
Oh, there you go.
So,
yeah. So yeah, the author clearly had an idea and just didn't. Yeah.
I just think that it has its points where you think you see flashes of where this could go into a nice little slice of life, but then it dips back down again to generic power fantasy isekai, where he's got all spells and superior powers, and a third of his magic is enough to destroy an army, this kind of thing. There's apparently he's killed his new wife's older brother, and that's barely touched on.
Yeah.
So that's not really much more you can say about this one. It's low scoring for me, not as low as it could be because it has these flashes.
I will say this is one of the ones that I will be dropping because I just got way too many on. Are you going to stick through with this, or are you dropping it?
I think I'm picking this one as my my terrible one to watch because it's not.
I don't think I'm going to have one of those this season. There's too many things I'm watching to stick with the terrible one.
Right.
Fair enough.
Okay. Should we move on then?
Yeah, because my next one actually hits almost exactly the same points Thaylien said. Let's do the new gate, please.
Okay.
And I might be being a little generous with my score on it. I've given it a nothing special 3 because there is quality here in terms of some of the animation, and it's got a really nice starting twist, but then it just immediately squanders that twist, right?
I don't think you're that wrong. I think you're pretty on point
a little
with it,
generous,
but I wouldn't say no, I mean, like, in terms of like the twists and things, I think it's worthy of that score, but I wouldn't say the animation. This is another one where the animation's like, hello there, I hope you're having a good day. Just like, Jesus Christ.
Okay, all right, it's a little flat, but
yeah.
So I the initial twist was kind of neat. It started out as like, oh, this is gonna be like Sword Art Online. They're all trapped in a video game and they can't get out. But then they just kind of like immediately fix that issue for everyone else except our main character, who is then like immediately it just turns into kind of like Misfit or Demon King Academy, right? He gets transported 500 years in the future in the game world, and none of the other humans are there because they all got to log out, right? So in essence, this world has lost a lot of that past knowledge, a lot of those powerful magic spells, and he's the only one left that has them. And in that way, it is a lot like Misfit. But like he even points this out, like, oh, this is turned into an isekai, and it's like pointing that out, having your main character point that out, doesn't make it better.
Yeah. I think another
self-aware, but compared to pointing out the obvious.
I think another side of this is that it's really nice though that the world takes the events of the game and acknowledges them as historical events.
You say that, and you're right, but I feel like the author has also only put in the bare minimum of effort into that.
You're not wrong.
However, positive point, the menu screens that he brings up, that normally I hate in these types of shows, because like only the main character can see them and nobody else can see them. It makes sense in this one because he's the main character and they're all NPCs. So I don't like, however, the way he talks to himself. He constantly talks to himself like he's in a video game, literally just talking to himself. But like, it's already shown that this is a bad thing because it made one enemy realize he was there. It didn't really matter because he just wiped it out, no problem.
Yeah.
But I would rather have the internal monologue, which I also dislike to some degree, than this.
I mean, that's a really valid point, though, because, like, I mean, the majority of anime, they will typically go down the internal monologue route than
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it kind of makes sense that, hey, yeah, it's a video game. You might be fine talking to yourself. But once it's been shown that, other things can hear you in this world, you think he would stop that, but he doesn't. The letter ranks continue to be absolutely stupid. They brought letter ranks into this one, of course, A, B, double S, R, whatever. And I couldn't make it through episode 3, so there you go. I'm dropping this one.
Yeah. My only question about this show is how far off is he from asking chat if they've got an opinion?
I will say
too far.
No, I'd actually say pretty far because he's like your lone
fair enough, yeah.
I would say he's like the lone gunman, lone wolf. That's the term I was looking for. Yes. He's very much like the lone wolf. Like he's the Kirito sort of equivalent. Doesn't really have like it'd be cool if he was live streaming it and like, what do you think, chat? Oh,
it's not that he dislikes.
That would make it funny.
It would. Make
it's not
funny,
that he dislikes other people the same way that Kirito does, but he definitely feels like he's above them. In as much as he went to kill the main boss on his own in the original game to save everyone else, but he does it to save everyone, not to just because he's the only one who can.
No, I feel that we're imposing too much on his character there because the problem is, so this was a Sword Art Online event where effectively all of the people that were in the game were stuck in the game, and if they died in the game, they died in real life, right? But that is glazed over so wicked fast.
Yeah, you basically start the final boss and defeating it. But I mean, he's also seemingly really happy that everyone else gets to leave. So I think you can infer some about him, about his character in that.
Yeah. I think, to be honest though, I would prefer it if he was a game character, he didn't end up in the same world he was in 500 years down the line. I think
it's an interesting concept, but I mean,
but it kind of ruins it though, because I much prefer the likes of Skeleton Knight in Another World, where we have our video game character then suddenly become real in a different fantasy setting. I prefer that even more.
He does say that this world feels real now, and people do act like they're alive and not just NPCs, but. Yeah, it's very weird. It doesn't have a solid tone, I don't think.
All right, should we?
Yeah, we spent enough time on this piece of crap.
Right. Okay. So let's move on to another piece of crap. Oh my god! I've got so many in oh my god! Right. I take huge umbrage to the name of this show. It's called The Gods' Games We Play. Not the games of the gods, it's Gods' games we play.
And just to be clear to the audience, that is gods with an apostrophe after the S. So the property of multiple possessive gods.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a plural possessive, which is awkward sometimes, yeah, for sure.
It's dumb. It's fucking dumb.
Not for the name, just because it's dumb.
It should have been the games of the gods.
But it's the games we're playing.
Yeah.
That the gods have imposed on us.
Of the gods.
The games of the gods we play.
Yeah,
Xeno doesn't
exactly. The
understand
games
English,
are the
it's
gods.
fine.
Oh, fuck you, man. Right. Anyway, getting to the actual score. This is a 1-star pass. Right. It has an interesting concept, but is very clearly a tournament show. It's a very slow tournament show. The premise is effectively in either the Antarctic or the Arctic. Some archaeologists who just happened to be there or some shit end up finding a ex-god frozen in ice. And it turned out that this god had descended, and she'd been there for, I think, 2,000 years or something. And she ended up playing hide and seek at the bottom of the ocean, took a nap, and then ended up freezing. Right? You know,
so
as you do.
Evangelion if Gendo had found a waifu instead of Ada.
No, Nasuth. No, Nasuth. It's knockoff No Game No Life. Right? It is attempting to be No Game No Life.
It's No Game No Life if it began like Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Oh my god.
You're not wrong. I don't like the premise of the show where effectively there's no way to know if the characters are like, you know, they're playing games, but they don't know what the games are before they start playing them, and they have to work out what the games are and the rules of the games while they're playing them, and it's just like, oh, I hate this contrived bullshit.
That's kind of what I hated about Tomodachi Friends too, or Tomodachi Game.
Yeah, and it's like I just fucking don't. This like.
No Game No Life tried that once with the battle chess, where it turned out it wasn't so much about your ability to play chess as your ability to lead.
Yeah.
And influence the chess pieces. That one.
Well, the thing is, they were making mistakes and they were able to work that out, right?
Yes.
But they still had the premise of playing like chess.
Exactly. So there was that thing beforehand when they started and explained some of the rules to them beforehand, and they just had to work around them.
Yeah.
But the rest of the show of No Game No Life was better because you had clear game rules.
Yep. But this is just so much like so the one game out of 3 episodes, the one game we actually get to watch, seriously, 3 episodes, is a game of it's 2 games mixed together, and I've ended up forgetting what the first game was, but it's like you basically got this kaiju that's going around destroying buildings, right? And you've got the players that are effectively reversey pieces, right? What's the other name of reversey? I can't remember.
Othello.
Thank you. Yes, Othello. Right. You know, it's you know,
Go?
all the players are effectively not Go. They're effectively reversey pieces, and when someone gets captured, the top half of them goes like red. We saw like a screenshot a moment ago of that, but the weird thing is, like, oh, we worked out it was reversey because the top half of them turned red. Right, but if that was the case, then why isn't the bottom half of you red? I mean, what? That doesn't make any sense.
That is
It's
a little
stupid. Yeah, so this is one of the ones I'm definitely dropping. Not just out of spite of how bad the name is. But also the fact that 3 episodes there have one sodding game. And come on. The animation's also very much, hi, how are you doing today? Like, seriously, so many shows. Anyway, right. Let's move on to the next one.
All right. I'm going to do a little bit of a palate cleanser with one of the returning shows. This is season 3 of the Irregular at Magic High School.
Okay.
And surprisingly, I've been enjoying this. I actually caught up on the second season quite late, and then there was the film. So I watched that long after that season had ended. But the third season,
I don't think anyone's surprised about Thaylien enjoying a high school show. I don't think anyone's surprised at all.
What? Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, he enjoyed Mashal. He enjoyed, I don't know, I could come up with a lot of.
He likes Harry Potter.
I don't.
Harry Potter High School.
Well, okay, no, okay. Yeah, there is. I enjoy
Dude,
parodies.
we're taking the piss. We're taking the piss.
I enjoy parodies. Definitely parodies. Anyway, no. So this is going to be,
parody.
for me, an Acquired Taste 3 star.
Okay.
Because you've got to get through the first 2 series to get here, but they're not bad series. You know, not amazing, but there is something a little bit. There's a little bit comfortable about this. We have a powerful, not overpowered, but powerful main character, and he's powerful because of, you know, being forced to be that way, not because it's something that he's just been given by the plot. You find out more about that over the first 2 seasons. You find out about his family circumstances over that, and we're actually now coming into a point. Yes, you know.
So I'm just gonna pause the timer here, right?
No.
Nasuth, you said you didn't like that metric. What metric?
I don't like that. Saying that you've got to get through the other seasons to get to this. I don't like using that as a standard for in your score. I don't know what. I think we should do an episode at some point about how we score. We've talked about this before privately, but we definitely should do an episode about that.
This next episode.
That's next week.
Woo! Right.
Okay, so I am putting it on there because this is all culmination of the show of the previous season so far. So everything that you've seen in the last 2 seasons is starting to kick in now with the third season. That's
I will say though, I kind of agree with Nasuth. The problem is that the first season, if memory serves, came out like 10 years ago. It came out in like 2014.
Yeah, it is quite a while back.
You know,
but it's still available. You can still go watch it. It's not like it's vanished off the internet.
Yeah.
And season 2's on Crunchyroll instead of season 3. But yes, I'm liking where it's actually progressing to. There's a direction it's trying to take the show, where the world is trying to become more and more polarized towards the existence of magic. So some people are trying to politicize it, some people are trying to militarize it, and you're starting to see the efforts of politicians like coming into the school and trying to twist everything to say, oh yeah, it's just a breeding ground for military recruitment. And in the background, you have the dark plots of the 10 houses that run the country, these 10 magical houses that rule from the shadows of the country. And so you're starting to see members of their like sub-clans getting into plots behind the scenes. You know, how they're going to let one thing happen to another family just to weaken them. And that way it'll kind of show them where what their place is and stop them from being such a dominating force politically. So you've got the political things, you've got the school elements, and you have got some of the combat things coming back with the fact that, these guys use magic to fight people. You know, it's actually, you have a military asset in the form of our main character, and there are other people around him that now know this and are trying to deal with the world outside as they're graduating school to try and not, how should I put this, cause international incidents by letting people know who one of the greatest military assets of their country is currently in high school. It's surprisingly complex for the first 3 episodes, which is why I'm putting it for that acquired taste. Animation's good. The joke about there being about the incest in there is still there to annoy the other characters as much as us, and it's still maintaining its quality overall. So yeah, that's why it's at a solid 3-star in the acquired taste as well.
I feel that Thaylien has said some really strong points here. It is a very, very good show, but the problem is that, like the first 2 seasons, realistically, to watch Irregular at Magic High School, it's a binge show. You can't really watch it. To me personally, I don't think you should watch this on a week-by-week basis. I think you should wait for the whole thing to come out and then binge the whole thing, because the problem is that there's subtle nuance. It's like espionage. Like, you wouldn't want to watch the first half of a James Bond movie to then a year later watch the second half of a James Bond movie. It doesn't work that well. And that's the part of the problem that the Irregular Magic High School suffers, is it just... You have this cognitive break that, it's like, wait, what? Wait, who, what, when, what, who, what? And it really does hamper the flow of this. I like Thalien's score, but realistically, this is something that you should binge.
Yes. So I've been watching it week to week so far, and I am enjoying it. But that's possibly because about 4 months back, I binged the entirety of season 2 and the movie. So
cool,
I'm up to date. Yeah, let's go.
Right. Well, as much as I'd love to get my third really bad one out of the way, let's save it for slightly later, and let's do Windbreaker instead.
You and Windbreaker,
which is not great, but it's also not like I'm not dropping it yet. So this is actually, I put this at a 5-star, nothing special. So yes, it is nothing special, but it's still got a lot of quality in there, I think. But it does feel aimed at a younger audience. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that, as a lot of these feel like they're aimed at a younger audience, to be fair. I'm not dropping it yet, but if I'm pressed for time in the future, this will probably be one that I prioritize relatively lower. Possibly one of the reasons I'm liking this so much is that I have less than a massive amount of experience with the genre. Mostly what I've seen is The Warriors, which is an amazing movie and video game, Battle Royale, and things like Akira. Mostly that sort of older stuff, if even that much. It does feel to me like it's kind of mimicking that older style, though. Especially with things like I've never seen anyone use a cell phone in the entire show. There are no computers. It feels like it's set in a slightly older era, maybe. That also might just be my experience with that genre being older. But that said, our main character is Inosuke, a tsundere, and in Bakuhatsu terms, a disgraced ronin who's fallen in with other criminals/fighters who are actually more complex than they seem and rise to the role of being protectors. And of course,
can you elaborate on why you say Inosuke?
Oh, because he always wants to fight, and he's loud and gruff and wants to be a loner, but gets drawn in by these other people who are actually good. Cool. Yeah, that sort of thing. And of course with our sorry, Thaylien, you wanted to say something?
I was going to say, is he genuinely just not bright as well?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fair description of him. Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, with our Inosuke comes the inevitable Zenitsu, and I fucking hate him so much already.
God, yeah.
Okay, things that I like. They don't really go looking for fights. That's their whole thing. They don't go looking for fights. They're here to protect their area of town. But they're also ready to fight in an instant. Like you can feel that aggression in them that's barely contained. The MC is learning to sort of live this new strange life with people that actually don't treat him like shit just because of how he looks. And it's promoting some local pride. However, on that same token of that last point, promoting local pride, it does kind of feel like propaganda. There's a lot of this in Japan lately, where they're like, "Oh, this new generation doesn't care. They're all self-obsessed on their phone. They don't care about local pride. They don't care about their community. You know, they're all just delinquents. So it feels like they're kind of trying to push people towards that, which works out in the show because the people love them so much that they just give them stuff. They just give them gifts. Here's some food. Here's what, you know, blah blah blah. Here's some medical attention. Whatever you need. But in real life, that's less likely to happen just because of the world we live in, where, you know, everything, people are just like, they're too wrapped up in their own things and trying to make their own ends meet to worry about helping you just because you helped them. And the characters are kind of one-dimensional so far, for the most part. I think they could get more developed, but at this point, they're kind of just one note. That's about it.
How many episodes have you watched so far?
3. I haven't watched episode 4 yet.
Okay, cool. So just to highlight 2 points that I think you've missed. One is effectively, though they are delinquents, they are seen by the community as heroes because, they go out of their way to, you know, bring peace to chaos. You know, that's order to disorder.
Sort of what I meant here with the Bakuhatsu stuff, where it falls in with other people who are then rise to being protectors or have already risen to being protectors.
The other side of this is, you know, it's a school of delinquents, and yet there's not a single member of staff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how is this a school and not just a hideout? Like, that's something I really didn't like. In all honesty, I disagree with Nasuth's score on this. Don't get me wrong, you're welcome to your own opinion. I would actually give this a 5-star pass. Right, I have no interest in continuing to watch this because there are so many similarities between this and Buchigiri, and it's just like, this is so formulaic. It's very pretty. It looks amazing, right? It's animated so well, and the emotions portrayed by the voice acting staff is just incredible. But 3 episodes, and all he does is he just fucking joins the school. That's it. Nothing happens.
Well, yeah, I suppose. They do start that turf war that hasn't developed yet, but, you know.
That's not going to fucking develop for, like, fucking whole season. Anyway, right.
Yeah.
It's going to be the highlight of the season. Right, let's move on.
And again, you're probably right because you have more experience, especially recently, with this genre. So you're probably right in your score.
Right. Okay, so moving on to... Oh, my God. Right. A salad bowl of eccentrics. Right?
Did you mean Kanpai Cast?
This show wishes it was us. Right? It wishes, right?
Who would wish that? Oh, jeez. Ugh. Sorry, I can't be associated with these people anymore.
This is a 2-star pass. And there's another one of the shows.
You get all the terrible shows.
It's because you guys watched the good ones. I got left with the trite that I also watched.
Cast your net wide.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to make sure that we covered a lot of things. Right. Oh God, I wish they were. Anyway, but the premise of this is actually quite inspiring. So the whole point of the show is we've got our princess and royal guard who are being hunted down for whatever reason, and thus they decide to escape into another world. It's a reverse isekai, right? But they get separated. So the royal knight and the princess, they get separated, and she ends up basically falling into the lap of a private detective. He then ends up taking her. I don't know. Does the head count as the lap? so basically, he's tailing someone, right? It's he's trying to I actually had to dig it out of the recesses of my mind because I was like, oh, I've forgotten about the show already.
It's fine.
But yeah, so he's tailing someone, and she basically falls out of a portal right on top of him, and then alerts the the target to his presence, and but so basically he's a private detective, and he is hired by people to find out what people are up to. It's your generic private detective sort of shenanigans. Is my husband secretly having an affair, so on and so. You get the idea. But that's episode 1. Episode 2, they pivot away from the the princess and to the royal knight, who ends up going into the portal mere moments later, but ends up coming out somewhere else, right? And she becomes homeless, and she's living under a bridge with another homeless guy. Now, this is played for comedy, so the idea is that he, is like he's actually an author, and he's trying to write what he has experienced and things like this. So he's actually pretending to be homeless, even though you get the idea. So he's like method writing, if you will. But she's incapable of doing anything. She's a klutz. And she tries to like fish in a river, but she can't fish there because she doesn't have a permit to do it. And it's so generic. It's like nothing.
Wait, so she's a royal knight, but she's also a klutz?
Yeah.
It's one of those weird dichotomies of put a sword in her hand and she can slice things, but she's and she doesn't.
She's amazing and shit at the same time. I mean, it's just, but this is her, right? So the one that's above me. Yeah. So she's the royal knight. She's been lured into effectively a brothel, right, to work there. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Hostess club.
Sure, she doesn't know what she's doing, and she gets paid, but then when the place gets busted by the police and everything, all the hostesses are put into one room separate from everyone else. And she realizes that she's going to be arrested because she has no legal documents, right? She's a foreigner and she has no legal documents to why she's there and things like that, because obviously she's been isekai'd. So she jumps out of like a 5th or 7th story window and survives and just runs away and goes back to being homeless. And then the next episode, the 3rd episode, again, it's all about her. She's invited by effectively Scientologists to go like spend time with them. They're trying to like indoctrinate her and things, and she's like picking up on like this subliminal messaging and things like that. It's like, so what's with all the weird flashing text that appears during the course of this movie, and like what flashing text? And all the other people have just fallen victim to it, and she can see it for what it is. And it's like this. It's not fun. Yeah. It's like, if anything, this is just propaganda to promote awareness of other things going on around your neighborhood.
Yes. So the same thing that Windbreaker's doing.
Pretty much.
These kids today, they're too obsessed with their phones.
Yeah, but again, this is another one I'm dropping. Oh my god. Yeah, I know.
Windbreaker. Yeah.
Anyway. Thaylien, good sir.
All right, let's move on to the other of my 2 returning shows, which is Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Core 2. And this show, I'm not enjoying Mushoku Tensei as much as I was.
It's complicated.
It really is. Because I think, for me, you may completely disagree with me, but give this an Acquired Taste 3-star. I'm just not enjoying Mushoku Tensei as much as I was at the start of the show, or towards the end of the first season. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. So we've had this cute moment of our 2 main characters now, where they're getting a house, settling down. He's proposed, so they're going to get married, and life is starting to move on. But they seem to have these little jump skips in the time. So like a week's passed here, 2 weeks passed there, without any sense of actually progressing time. So they have a whole episode dedicated to clearing out the house because it seems like it was haunted.
But then the next thing you know, the house is completely repaired, and
it's renovated. It's renovated, and
I do like them clearing the house though. That felt like a nice little adventure instead of just Rudy goes and buys a house or Rudy goes and builds a house. You know, it turned it into at least that part turned it into an adventure.
And then there's they dedicate time for the party based around this. The only progression we actually had was the Nanahoshi, what's her name? The silent girl, where she actually is been pushing to send herself home. So they're trying to do experiments into Rudy powering her magic circles so that she can work out summoning magic. And one of them that she spent a whole month putting together fails in a rather flashy way, and she seems to be like, okay, back to the drawing board. But the moment Rudy leaves the room, she's there having a complete mental breakdown. And
this is like her last-ditch effort.
It was, in some great respects, because she's been trying to solve a problem that she can't seem to solve. And of course, they do the correct thing, which is they get her out of there, give her some care and support, and then get friends involved to give her more perspective. Other people who are at least as intelligent as her to give different perspectives on things. Rudy actually does that talk. He says, "Here, look, what would you guys suggest? Even if you can't suggest anything, that's okay. Take a look at it anyway. We're just trying to see if, could you take a look?" And they all start providing ideas and get her to snap out of the funk she's in because of that, that change in perspective. And that's about the only progression we get. So,
I get where you're coming from entirely. I genuinely do, and I don't think your score is actually that harsh. I would potentially give this a 4-star acquired taste. But I like the change of pace, right? This is again different from that of season 2 core 1. But I feel that I don't think it's going to be the entire core is about them back home. So,
you and I disagree on this. You and I disagree on this. I think it is. I think it's 100% going to be just now that his little sisters have shown up. I think they're working on tying him to this place at least for the rest. Like if they leave, it'll be right at the end. I think what they're going to do is they're going to find out that the creator of the mechanical doll, well, not mechanical doll, but you know what I mean, the automaton doll is still either alive and under the city or has left other things down there. And they're gonna have that's gonna be the bulk of the season is them dealing with this.
I think
I think there's gonna be. Sorry.
I think it's gonna be. They send Silent home. Rudy gets a hold of the summoning magic, the teleportation. Yeah, and he uses it to teleport to basically go help Paul find Zenith, and then leaving a pregnant Sylphie behind. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, that's the worry.
But not until the very end.
No, I think it's going to be in a few episodes.
I'm basing this off of the promise of the opening sequence, because we've got another opening sequence in this. It's not the old Mushoku Tensei with no opening sequence. So I think based on some of the things we've had, the hints we've had in the opening sequence, we're going to see more actual adventure. But I just don't like the way it's trying to give us the slow start at the moment. So
fair enough.
I don't mind that so much. I just feel like it's gonna anyway.
Cool. Resume. Yeah. Right. What's your next pick, Naz?
Oh yeah, it's my turn, isn't it? Oh jeez. Oh jeez, Rick. Let's do. Oh, let's just keep moving up the list for now. Let's do Train at the End of the World.
Okie dokie.
Right. So this is one I actually got Zeno to watch, and he wasn't too sure about it at first. And I'm not sure if we line up on our scores, but I'm giving it a 4-star acquired taste. It's starting out on a high note, but it could still go either way. I mean, it really could. I mean, this show immediately sets its tone. It is more of a fairy tale, like Spirited Away or Drifting Home. Don't really expect things to make normal sense, but I think they do have their own kind of internal consistency going on here. And there are some things that I think might be easier to understand with the like cultural background in them. Such as there's a guy that shows up in the second episode in like a swan paddle boat, and he gives them a map and he gives them some portents about what's coming down the road, and I get the feeling that that's much more that like there's something about that screams this is Japanese mythology that they're using to do this. And at its core, it's a sometimes dangerous coming of age story with colorful characters. So essentially, what happens on the show is they invent a new 7G technology that's going to connect everyone like mentally, and
like
will allow
5G.
them. Yes, yeah, like 5G, like the 5G conspiracies, but real. But what ends up happening is it's supposed to help them manifest things into the real world, which on its face sounds like a bad idea. And hey, what do you know? It turns out to be a bad idea. It completely fucks up the world, like just entirely. Like the village that they start out in, all the adults after you hit 21, you turn into an animal. Now you're a thinking animal, but you're still an animal. And the older you get, the more animalistic you become. There's another city in the end of episode 2 and episode 3, where all the people have like mushrooms on their head, and I won't tell you why, because it's a really good episode, really good fun twist sort of thing, even though you can kind of see it coming. And so it's things like that, right? And they're going on this journey to these different places to try and find somebody that they lost.
Would you say that city was full of fun guys to be with?
Oh my god!
No,
I hate you so much.
no, I would not.
Anyway,
it's got clear archetypes with room to grow. So like the blonde girl here, that's our optimistic airhead. The black-haired girl is our intellectual introvert. The third one here, the redhead, brownhead, whatever, is sort of our non-committal peacemaker. Brunette. You know, she wants everyone to just get along. And then our main character, who you don't see in this screen, is an adventurer who likes to look before she leaps. And
I'd actually argue that the brunette is the airhead, while the blonde is like she's got her passion, she's got her drive, you know. She's kind of self-centered, but at the same time,
but she's also terrible at school. Like she's got this very like
yeah, but she wants to be a fashion icon. You can't learn that at school. School's for chumps.
She's an airhead. I think the other girl is smarter, but she doesn't want to show it because she's trying to make everyone get along. She wants to just downplay her own role in order to make everyone else get along. But I think they've all got room to grow. And again, this is very much a coming-of-age story for a slightly younger audience, but this is one of those where I think they've designed it in such a way that adults can also enjoy it. You know, they've made it not just for kids. It's something that you can look back on and be like, oh yeah, I can identify, I can see this, I can understand this. Yeah.
Like My Little Pony.
So I struggled massively with the second episode, to the point of I thought that this was going to turn into another pass. But the third episode really turned it around, and even the fourth episode
I haven't watched that yet, but yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, so there are things that there are points where you have to suspend your disbelief.
Again, like watching something like Spirited Away, or you know, any other fairy tale.
No. It's more comedic in that sense. It's like so. One of the things that runs through my head, even though that I'm enjoying the show, one of the points of the narrative is that the people from their hometown, so one person from their hometown and the group on our train are able to communicate to each other at 5 p.m. Every day, right? And they do this through Morse code by whacking the train track.
Even though they're so far away by now that there's no way they should be able to do that.
Well, it's not just that would not work due to the simple fact that the ground would absorb the vibrations. So it's like, well, good job. But also,
to be fair,
hold on. Because you may have not realized this. The train track gets destroyed.
Yes.
So they can't go back. So it's just, so how is this even working?
Well, for all we know, the train tracks repaired themselves. But as to the, I know I agree with you with that one. That one really annoyed me in episode 3. I was like, how are they still? But you
have to suspend your disbelief.
As to the distance problem, they do say that there's like a weird energy coming through the rail tracks, right? That's one of the ways. That's how the train gets powered. It's how their town gets what little electricity they have. So maybe there's a weird property there that's amplifying the Morse code signal.
Yeah, but still, it's a dumb fun show. You have to suspend your disbelief. It is very charismatic. I do love our motley crew of adventurers.
Yeah.
So, but.
Right. I'm expecting good things from this in the end.
Okay. Awesome. So, moving on. You know what? I'm going to do the Demon King of Misfit Academy.
Or the reverse of that.
Season 2... What?
You said the Demon King of
Misfit Academy. Sorry, I didn't I? Sorry. Hold on. The Misfit of Demon King Academy. I mean, to be fair, it does feel like what's going on.
It also works.
Right, so I am actually going to give this, a 1-star acquired taste, right? And I'm going to be honest, the reason why I'm giving this a 1-star is it rides so heavily off the coattails of Core 2, which was aired over a year ago. I can barely remember what the F is going on.
Wait, didn't we even watch that recently? Because you guys showed it to me.
Yes.
And you still couldn't remember what was going on.
No, but the problem was that I was like, right, so we've seen season 2, that's it, the end. Because it's just listed as season 2. But this is season 2, core 2. So wait, so that was season core 2.
You said core 2. You said this follows core 2. So I thought you meant core 2 of season 1.
Sorry, no. Season 2, core 1.
Core 1.
My bad.
Okay. Right.
But we didn't know this was coming, right?
Right.
So we haven't seen that part of it. No,
I probably don't want to, honestly.
Well, you made me fucking watch Eminence in Shadow. You can fucking watch this.
I didn't make you watch season 2 though.
Oh my god. Anyway, but the whole point is, it's an enjoyable series, but it has that precursor. You have to watch this other stuff. I think this will be leagues easier to watch with a dub because they throw terms around and things constantly, and much like Ghost in the Shell, I absolutely love and adore Ghost in the Shell. I cannot watch it subbed because I cannot read that fast, right? I cannot read that. My dyslexia suffers me greatly at that point. So I do enjoy this. I do love the antics and hijinks of Anas Voldigold. I do think, though, that the group are a bunch. It's like, the humans are a bunch of. No, sorry. The NPCs, the minor characters. They're all a bunch of bloody idiots that they can't work out that. Hold on, there he is. That young child who looks exactly like Anos couldn't possibly be Anos in disguise. Jesus fucking Christ, how stupid.
Also, I'm pretty sure they copy-pasted that one girl's boobs like 3 times up above her.
Oh my god.
No, that's the worst. They didn't. They deliberately animated 3 other girls with the same kind of bust. That's what this show actually does in the background. When you're watching them be stupid and watching the shenanigans of Demon King, it's everything in the background.
Anyway,
you pause at any point, and there's just waifu bait.
Anyway, I do really like how they are evolving a long-term character that didn't get a whole lot of screen time from season 1. Yeah, it is a fun, dumb show, but it's not going to be for everyone. And I seriously can't remember what happened in season 2, core 1. Right. So, should we move on?
I just wanted to know that I actually didn't pick this one up this season because the earlier seasons just kind of wore thin on me, even though I really did enjoy the first 2.
So it was just season 2, core 1 that wore thin on you?
Yeah, particularly.
Okay. Right, Thaylien.
So, I'm going to go on to some of the weaker parts of this. Oh, where has he gone? I'm going to go with Remonster, which somebody might have to find for me because I can't see the thumbnail.
I got it.
I want to say Zeno's been complaining about that one too.
Yeah. Now, this is one of those ones I have a bit of bias on because I read the manga years ago. So I can remember how it started. But then, of course, I reached the end of the chapters that were available, stopped, and never came back to it again because it wasn't, in my brain, worth it. So I have seen these starting episodes. And I'm putting it at a nothing special 4-star because of its base premise of taking somebody from another fantasy universe that was already incredibly powerful and putting him into this universe and making him incredibly powerful.
But why was he incredibly powerful, Thaylien?
Because he has the power to absorb other people's powers if he eats them.
And he had that in the original world.
Yeah. That was his power from the original world. He actually had a lot more powers, apparently.
Arifureta?
Yeah, but no, Arifureta, he got that power in the new world.
Yeah.
This is a power he had from the old world.
This is the only one of his multiple powers that he's brought with him from the old world. So this is like a new game plus for him. So he's come back as a goblin, and the entertainment factor on this one is that it actually measures the time out in days. So at the point you see him in this screenshot, which is from episode 3, that's 35 days after he was born. Okay.
My goodness.
So
can we also caveat that he is no longer a goblin in that screenshot?
Yeah, that's the thing. So he starts off as a goblin, and all is explained when he's still like a day old, and he's actually grown to his full goblin height. He explains that you can level up 100 times, and if you hit that max level cap, you can evolve into a new monster. It's explained later that humans don't have that. Humans don't level up in the same way. They have jobs like chef or knight or anything, and by leveling up through their jobs, they get to stronger variants of that and gain powers that way. But for monsters, like goblins, like orcs, all of that, if you level up enough, you can evolve into a higher form of monster.
Existential evolution, might say.
Yeah, this was. This is why some of the other shows that come out more recently were so familiar, because this was, I think, a decade ago that this was a manga and was popular, and was so it kind of one of those ones that established that trend in Mangaverse, and so all the shows from that are coming out now are variants of those like decade-old manga,
right?
All the ones that are following that trend. The first 3 episodes are literally just establishing himself in the world, much like all the other isekai stuff is, where he's growing up, becoming more powerful, and getting into 1 or 2 dangerous situations that will power him up more than the people around him. Which is all driven by his ability to eat his enemies and gain their powers. But yeah, for what it is, it's nothing special. Well, it could be, depending on how they actually do the animation and everything else, it could be entertaining. There is one solid drawback, and you're looking at it in this screenshot, which is the amount of harem.
Of course.
Oh god.
Okay.
So
it starts off with just this with the one goblin girl that's like part of his trio of friends, and she really likes him. But then, of course, there's this thing that in the back of the goblin cave when he was born, there were human women that were obviously like their parents that had been caught, and they all drink poison to get away from it. So it's a really dark moment. And then the raiding party of goblins from their
the adults,
home, the adults as it were, come back and bring more girls with them. And it's only because he's like, no. I don't care if we're all goblins. We're not doing that to these women. And basically beats the others into submission and even ends up killing one of them.
He becomes the new chieftain, doesn't he?
Yeah, becomes the new chieftain and establishes himself as the leading force and the drive of everything. But then, through being just a nice goblin, seems to somehow magically seduce all 5 of these women, plus the goblin girl that he started off with. And one of the things he got from the orc that he killed and ate earlier is the ability libido. So, yes, he is able to keep up with all of them.
Oh.
And that's established by episode 3, so that's not going away as a concept.
To me, this is like a 4 or 5 star pass, right? And it is the 3rd episode that royally ruined it for me. I really enjoyed the whole, so we, not only did he say, these women are off limits, he actually took to learn from them, learn from human society. So they taught him how to make tools, how alchemy works, how magic works, how all these different systems work that are obviously alien to him. Yeah, even cooking. How they're all alien to him and things like this. But then by the 3rd episode, first off, the animation quality actually drops quite a lot. And it was like, this is really noticeable. But then, so while he's out on a hunt, he encounters a dryad. And then gets down and dirty with the dryad.
Yeah, dryads are just made to seduce male creatures.
Yeah.
Yes, and eat them after seducing them.
And then all of a sudden, all the female characters are just really standoffish with him. And he's like, what have I done? And it turns out, the last female character basically goes, we can see the hickeys on your neck, right? And, he goes, oh, God. And then all of a sudden it's hanky-panky time. And he puts, a sound barrier between him and the rest of the cave. And I think there's only 2 goblins, or 2 female characters that he doesn't sleep with. One is set up to be the girlfriend of his best mate. And the other one is... No, there are 2 others. There's 3 technically, right? But one of them is not even there. So that doesn't count.
Yeah. There's the goblin mage, the goblin...
Miner.
What's it? Miner and the
scout. The scout's the one that's missing.
Yeah, those 3. They're not even there. Well, the one is, but they're not included.
Yeah.
Because they're set up to be something else.
And it's just this really brought the tone down of the show for me. I don't know if you've watched the 4th episode, but I'm like, no, I'm done. I don't want to watch any more of this.
I do know that there are some interesting little battles and things later on because of the manga parts that I did read. So I'm not averse to keeping going, but it really does. It just pulls it down. It is pure wish fulfillment on the part of whatever author it is. It's almost like the author wrote another story with a character, built them up to endgame, and then decided, you know what, I'm just going to import them into my new story.
Yeah. Right. Nasuth.
Let's move on.
All right, let's get my last bad one out of the way. Let's do Mission Yozakura Family, which I think made both me and Xeno really angry. So
But
yeah, disappointed because this is not really a pass. In fact, I'm probably again being generous with it. It is a nothing special 5-star because there is a lot of quality here, and I think for a younger audience, this would be great. But it's really just not for me. It starts out with a lot of things that I dislike right off the bat. You've got school life, you've got a younger sister complex, you've got one-note characters defined by their hairstyle. But, I mean, it's got an okay twist. The twist is alright. Sort of. It's sort of, Xeno. Sort of. The idea is that this guy's childhood friend is actually the next the head of the household for a group of spies. Like the whole family is spies. All the spies are born essentially with special abilities, except for her. That's why she gets to be the head of the household. But in reality, this ends up just being a high school Chinibyo with extra steps. Because it's real. He's not pretending to have fallen in with a group of spies. It's all real. Episode for most of the first 2 episodes, it's just like, oh, please get on with it. He's essentially forced into marrying her in order to keep himself alive. Yeah. But in order to stay with her, now he's got to train to be one of them. He's going to train to be as good as they are. And episode 3 covers a bunch of that. I say that. It covers about a month in one episode. But it's all like him training. And it's so over the top and chaotic that it almost charmed me. But the key word here is almost. It still failed at the end. But yeah, there's like I said, there's quality. It's probably a slightly above average entry-level shonen for a younger audience, or if you're really just really into shonen, I suppose. But shonen romance. But it's not for me. I don't really have much more to say about it. It's just
that does look particularly chaotic. I like the guy with the bucket on his head.
Yeah, that's their tech guy.
I can relate.
One of their tech guys. No, that's their medical guy. Sorry, that's their medical guy.
No, he's the medical. Yeah, he's the...
Tech guy's the green guy.
So, if you have seen series like Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple, right? Mm. You have seen Mission Yozakura Family, right? Kenichi is quite common a concept.
Yes.
It's basically, you have female character. She belongs to X family. X family specialize in Y thing. As a result, male protagonist must join X family to learn all of Y thing. That is it. That is all that, and
it really is.
And as an apprentice to that family, must also shine above the other apprentices to other families that are similar in some way. So if he's becoming a spy, then he'll have to outspy other spies. But that's only episode 3.
I didn't
have to do this by episode 3.
No. In exchange for that, what they've ended up doing is, he's just a normal person. There's no way he can stand up to our level of training. We were all born with these special supernatural skills. But he kind of does. He kind of just keeps up with them. And so, while it's not, he has to shine better than them, because they don't expect him to, he does anyway.
Yeah.
I mean... The big thing for me is they end up teaching him how to change the TV using a BB gun. A BB gun, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to be such an amazing expert to use a BB gun in such a way where you can change a TV remote. Because they do not pack much force at all, to the point of a simple breeze can change a trajectory massively. Right?
And
you're not going to hit.
I don't know though, because this one had enough kick on it to knock him over the first few times he used it. So is it just a BB gun?
Mm.
Or he's just that weak?
It could be just a 2-2 air gun rather than a BB gun.
Yeah, that's possible.
But even a fucking air gun is not that much. But the whole point is,
I don't know. Airsoft guns can hit pretty hard.
That's what a BB gun is, Nasuth.
An airsoft gun is not a BB gun.
Yeah.
No, you're not. It might shoot BB pellets, but it's not a BB gun. BB guns are a lot weaker, and
they're mechanical.
So kids can handle them.
They're not air compressed air. They're just like a hammer and chamber sort of thing.
No, they are compressed air.
No. Oh god.
Yeah.
You know they had BB guns before they had compressed air, right?
Yes.
Maybe what I think is a BB gun is just not a BB gun at all.
It might be the case. You're classing, you're lumping a couple extra things in with BB gun.
Yeah, because
kind of like just slang termed into.
Yeah.
You know?
But regardless, the whole point is, yeah. Honestly, it's not a fun, entertaining watch. It's so boring and generic. Like, it's animated really, really well, but it's so damn predictable. Oh look, he's wearing a weighted T-shirt. Well, guess what's going to happen? He's going to wear a heavier weighted T-shirt, and
eventually he's going to have abs.
Again, it's a very entry level.
She's going to notice them.
Oh god, yeah. Anyway, right, are we moving forward?
Yes, we spent 6.5 minutes on this piece of crap, more than it deserved by about 2 minutes.
Right, I am gonna move us on to Unnamed Memory. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this one. So it's a straight-laced fantasy series. None of the stereotypical isekai stuff. I will get to a score, don't worry about it. But effectively, we have our prince who has been cursed. But this is an extremely difficult curse because technically it is a blessing. And effectively, the blessing works in such a way that he can't have any kids. If he tries to have kids with anyone, they will die. And it's all down to a specific type of protection spell that has been placed on both he and his father, right? And he wants to, he wants to be able...
Hang on. Wait, so this must have happened after he was born.
No shit, Sherlock. Yes, after he was born.
Sorry,
what
the way you said that, I was like, wait, but how can his father have... Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
That was such a special moment.
It was placed on his father, and he inherited it from his father after being born.
No. It was placed. I never said inherited. I never said inherited.
Yeah. My brain just made that connection.
Anyway, right. Good job, Nasuth. Right, but so he's trying to find a way of breaking the curse, and he can't find the witch that placed the curse on him, because I think if they kill the witch, that will certainly break it, but the witch can also undo it, right? So they're trying to find a way.
What if he kisses the witch? Will that temporarily undo it? So what if he kisses the witch?
Don't. Shh.
Sorry, I'll stop.
Right. But he so he's trying to find a way, and the first episode is about him ascending a tower of another witch, another well-known witch that used to have affiliations with, I think it was his grandfather or his great-grandfather. They used to work together, kind of thing, to help protect the kingdom that he is in line to succeed. And so he ultimately single-handedly climbs this tower of this witch, defeats all her challenges, and effectively he asks her to marry him, because it turns out that the protection will can be circumvented by someone that has the magical power to withstand it, sort of thing. And most witches can. So he's like, yeah, well, will you marry me? And she's like, no, we just met. That's kind of creepy. So ultimately, his wish becomes, come live in the kingdom with me for a year. And she's going to help try and find a way in that time to break the curse, while he does his princely duties of protecting the kingdom and things. I'm gonna give this... It's well animated. It's well thought out in terms of... I'm gonna give this currently a 1-star acquired taste. Right? This is one of the...
So Nasuth's joke about it, what if you kiss the witch?
Kissing the witch,
is
yes.
actually, it's not actually all that far off.
No, it's not that far off. But, like, you have other, like,
another
magical...
4-letter word starting with F, though.
Yes. But the... oh, crap. But you see other, like, witches try to... do different things to him. Like, the protection spell does not stop against mind-altering effects, or I think there was another thing, I don't know if it was poisons and things like that, it stops. But yeah, so it's not the worst show out there, but I mean, this is on the fence with you. This could turn sour, so I'm giving this at least till episode 6. Yeah.
Sorry, don't mind that. That's just for me for editing later.
Yeah. So I'm going to give this at least to episode 6. Right.
Fair enough.
All right. I'm going to go to the other mid-range one of mine, which is an Archdemon's Dilemma: How to Love Your Elf Bride. And this one, for some reason, isn't anything to do with an Archdemon as such yet. Okay. And just for that, I'm going to give it a nothing special 4.
Wait, pause. Wait, what score did you give it? Sorry?
I gave it a nothing special 4.
I don't think I hit it. I don't think I actually hit it.
Okay.
Why didn't you hit it now? Jeez.
4-star nothing special?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hit it.
Yes.
If I didn't hit it before, I hit it now. Before Zeno paused us for no reason.
So,
fuck off.
It tells the story of a sorcerer. He's a sorcerer in a world where sorcerers are all considered to be evil. But at the start of the show, we are introduced to the fact that he's not quite. He's just really powerful and really introverted. Because when somebody is menacing what looks like a poor innocent woman on his land, he arrives, grabs the miscreant by the back of the head, and crushes him in front of the woman. Like, wait. She's probably going to wake up traumatized now because of this. And, after some conversation with a fellow sorcerer, sends her home. Or sends her somewhere safe, at least, where she'll be found. His fellow sorcerer takes him to a auction for the possessions of a recently deceased Archdemon. Archdemons are, in this world, a title that you can gain. And when you do, you get a massive boost to your mana and a huge status to allow you to order around small armies. But the only thing that's left at the auction is her. An elf with white hair.
Which nobody wants.
No, she was probably going to be used as a catalyst for sorcery, which apparently a lot of other sorcerers do. They kidnap children to use children. The guy that was defeated in the first episode was apparently he takes the faces off of people to use them as magical catalysts. And so that's what he wanted that girl for, to take the face off it. It was like, hey.
Is he played by Nicolas Cage?
I wish he was. That would have been hilarious.
Damn.
So, this in this world, elves are closer to spirits than they are to humans or other people, and so it could have been a really good catalyst for the other sorcerers. But the first thing he does is fall head over heels in love with her. And so where they go to start the auction off at 10,000, he has 1 million and just buys her outright. And he spends all his money and all his savings. So he's now dead poor, living in a castle in the woods.
With another mouth to feed.
His place too. Yes, with another mouth to feed. And it's genuinely silly in the way it works out, because he is just an introvert. He has no idea how to talk to the girl he likes, but he's also just accidentally bought her. So she thinks that she's his slave, or that she's going to be killed by him for some sacrificial ritual. So she keeps making references to that. When he said, "Okay, so we'll find a place for you to hang out for a bit." He said, "Oh, hang out? Like by my wrists or by my neck, whichever you prefer, master." No. Why would you think that? You've got to bring your hopes up, girl. Which, for the short time it's there before she gets to know him and start actually acting more like a servant, is really funny, especially when he takes her up to find a nice room for her, and he opens a door to find that the previous owner of the castle has left a guillotine in there with like skulls around it. So he's no, hang on, let me clear that out for you. Drop some destructive magic in there just to blow the whole lot up, and utterly stuns her because she's never seen destructive magic like that before.
Interesting.
And so the room is completely now bare and scorched, and so he just basically sits back down in the main throne room kind of thing on his throne and has her curl up underneath his cloak for the night. But it's an interesting setup, whether you've got a almost a slice of life rom-com, but set in a fantasy world where you can see that this guy is powerful, magically gifted, and has a tragic backstory, and that they are probably hyping him up to become, as the title says, an archdemon. Gain that title, and that's going to make things even, put even more pressure on. But there's also this adorable side where, because he's got this lovely, pretty elf girl with him when he goes into town, all the people that thought he was so scary before and unapproachable suddenly start treating him more normally. And it turns out that the girl that he saved, he's done that for lots of other people before. So where bandits were attacking a cart full of people, he's run the bandits off his land. He didn't care about the people or the workers that were there, but he actually saved their lives. And so when he goes into a blacksmith to see if he can get the girl's slave collar off, the blacksmith refuses payment for the assessment because, no, you saved my life. I can finally repay you. So no payment necessary.
Okay. So he saved them, but he wasn't doing it to save them, which is why people were still kind of standing off away from him, because they didn't actually know him. Is that what you're saying?
Because he's a really scary sorcerer, and sorcerers are all thought to be evil.
Right.
By episode 3, we even see the
probably
Holy Knights come to try and purge him.
They survived when he killed the other people.
But still grateful that he did save them.
Yeah, of course, sure, yeah.
So we even see the Holy Knights come to try and defeat him in the 3rd episode. And that's when more of the backstory of the elf comes into play. And I like where it's kind of going, and I'm hoping that this actually rises up the ranks of, from nothing special into an acquired taste, from where it's going. It shows promise, but it's not anything that you go out your way for just yet. Maybe a binge show later on.
What have you rated everything else this?
Nothing Special 2, Nothing Special 4, Acquired Taste 3, Acquired Taste 3.
To me, this is currently an Acquired Taste 2, right?
Oh, you really? Okay.
Yeah, like it's one of the few shows this season that I have no doubt in my mind that it's gonna see me through to the end of the season. It's charismatic. Okay. It is extremely well animated.
Noticed that.
The plot elements that they use are well thought out, well scripted.
Yeah, there's nothing spelled out for the audience. You can just see it coming.
Well, not just that. It's also the simple fact that it's not just listfully moving along. All the characters have their own individual motivations. Unlike, the banished former hero lives as he pleases, who has zero character to him in the slightest, and is bound to the whims of any other side character. Our main character, well, all the characters in the show are really well thought out.
Yeah, they do seem to have their own roles in this. So yeah, I believe this is actually going to go up in my estimations when it goes, by the time we get the 6th episode mark. I mean, the 3 episodes right now, not too sure.
So one of my favorite scenes in the entire thing is the fact that he has no furniture, he has nothing, because he's basically sat in the center of the castle where the center of the barrier is the entire time. He doesn't do anything, he doesn't research anything. And at one point in time, he's feeding her. So they're both sat on the floor eating smoked meats. I think it's like beef jerky or something like that.
Jerky and milk, basically, is what they're drinking.
Yeah. And he's eating it with her, sort of thing. And she thinks oh my god, it's sort of like such.
He guess at it, doesn't he?
No.
He's guessing at what she's thinking, because it's like those are the eyes of, oh no, I pity you, or what kind of master have I got? And so he's kind of guessing it, and then when he actually asks her about it.
No, but he was thinking about to himself, but this is what I ate on the regular, because he came from an extremely poor background. He had literally nothing. So this was the staple, what he would eat on the daily anyway.
Yes.
So, and I love that sort of retrospective that is both on him and her. So,
as I say, I'm rating it low now because I really hope it climbs. I've had shows that start off this well before that gone down and down and down. So I would rather set my expectations low and be impressed than set them high and be disappointed.
Xeno's just rating it higher because it's got a white-haired elf girl in it.
Oh yeah, who gets dressed up by another dressmaker in skimpy lingerie.
Come on, Nasuth.
Right, let's do Spice and Wolf. Let's do Spice and Wolf so Xeno can judge my scoring, probably. So I am giving this one. Is it gonna change? It's not gonna change.
Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't hit the button because I was busy doing the other thing. Sorry. Just say your score.
So it is a 4-star acquired taste. I hit those in the wrong order. It's fine. Hollow annoys me a little bit. But the quality of the animation is really, really good. There's obviously a lot of thought put into the world and the writing. There's definitely a lot of potential fun in the future, but I don't know what's coming on Xeno, so I can't necessarily rate it higher. So Hollow, they keep saying Hollow's a wolf. She's not. She's totally a fox. I mean, just look at that the way she acts. It's no pun intended. But yeah, good pacing, little on the slow side, but as long as you go into it expecting it, it's not like dragging slow. It's methodically slow. It's purposefully slow. The Shady Merchant's trick is kind of obvious, but still played out really well by the time episode 3 finishes. And those types of moments are also where Hollow really, really kind of shines. Even if you've already figured it out, seeing her explain things to him is like, yes, that I can now I can see her wisdom. And I say now I can see her wisdom because let's get into the things that kind of worry me a little bit. She presents around 16 visually, right? And she kind of acts that way too. Despite being ancient and wise, supposedly. But I really hope this is just a setup for, she's used to living in the country, so she's got a lot of folksy wisdom, which is why she was able to listen to the coins and be like, oh yeah, I see that these are different denominations, or different content of silver in them. And she can pick up on certain behaviors. But in a lot of other cases, she's like very jealous and vindictive. And it's like, these are not things that I generally associate with wisdom. They're something that I associate with the impetuousness of youth. But I really hope that's more of a setup for her to grow and develop through the series and be like, I see these blind spots I have, and now I'm learning about how how the modern world can work, sort of thing.
So here's a question. Here's something that I've noticed in a while, is that even if somebody's older, okay, if their behavior is never called out and questioned, and they're being acting like a teenager, if that's just taken as their normal, they still maintain that no matter how old they get.
Sure.
That's how we get entitled people in the real world.
Karens.
So could that be more like it? So she's been living out away from people, and because she's used to acting a certain way based on how she looks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, people haven't really seen her. She's been hidden from most of them.
So she's never had to have her behavior corrected at all.
Yeah. So she's got these observational skills, but she doesn't have these people skills. And I really think that's where they're going. I hope that's where they're going anyway. But I don't know, so I can't, at this point, all it is annoying behavior to me. Yeah. But I like when she and Kraft are sitting down talking, and, I don't mind the slow. This might be one that I wait and binge several episodes at once at a time. Like, before the 6th episode, I'll watch 4, 5, and 6 all at once. Because the pace is slow, but it's good. It's really good.
It is a very methodical series. I think that this will never break into the must-watch region if the first season or series was ever anything to go by. A lot of this is very tailored towards the whole economics side of thing. The whole, the money denotions, the trade and barter, the merchantary sort of stuff.
Yeah,
that
so
is
like the first major. Sorry, Zeno. The first major arc is essentially a currency trading scheme that they're trying to get involved, or they've been invited to get involved into, and that literally covers episodes 2 and 3, probably us also 4, and a little tiny bit of 1. I think, maybe. No, it didn't start until 2. No, it didn't start. Yeah.
No, but I mean, you had your introductory one, so it's
exactly,
impressive if you had that in there as well. But the whole point is that it is very methodical. You were right on the money with that. But yeah, the thing is, the quality of the animation is goddamn gorgeous.
It is amazing.
It is like, I looked at the old stuff compared to this. Good. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot how the old one has aged, but this is gorgeous. Anyway,
yeah.
Cool. Right, so we're gonna move on to my next one.
Only a few left.
I'm gonna do Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, because this is another interesting odd one. And I'm gonna give this a 1-star acquired taste, right? And I did the exact thing that I said I wasn't going to do, which was forget to actually change the background images. So I had a job for like 1 second and I already fucked it up. So the series Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night is a series that primarily focuses on a shoujo group that are out to be sort of like creatives. So one of them is an ex-idol. One of them is an artist who has a mural, I think in Shibuya or something like that. Another one is what's it called, like a musician who idolized the idol, and another one is a VTuber, right? And they make this really interesting dynamic. The first episode is really, really good, and the second episode is actually quite endearing as well. You get like hints of kind of like suppressed creativity, where these girls are trying to express themselves as they wish to express themselves, but they don't want to impose on anyone else. They don't want to say, well, you know, that's my mural, can you please not put posters on it? You know, or that's the way I wrote this music. Can you not tell me how? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Don't tell me how to do my creativity, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's very endearing how effectively these girls encourage each other to become creatives properly, and it has a lot of potential. The problem for me is that the third episode, I haven't watched the fourth one yet, the third episode turned into effectively a high school drama. And that is why it is basically on the cusp of becoming nothing special. It's extremely well animated. It's very modern, which is kind of surprising. A lot of the time, these sorts of shows are like a generation behind in terms of technology. But, you know, we've got VTubers, you know, which is like...
VTubers have been out for a while, really.
Yes, but like they're the current thing, right? We're not talking about like mini disc players and oh crap, I'm trying to think about other stuff, DVD rentals and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff that you see in other anime and stuff that, you know, that are generations behind. You know, VTubers are the current thing, right? And again, it's very endearing to actually see that sort of thing. Very endearing to see the actual characters support each other and, you know, help them deal with their own problems. But if it just becomes another high school drama rather than a series about expression and creativity, like, this will fall into nothing special. I'm just hoping it just goes up higher.
It can use that high school setting to do something good instead of just being the same thing.
Yeah. And that's often what happens. I mean, like, where oh god, Train to the End of the World had its danger episode on episode 2. This had the danger episode on episode 3. So it's just like,
yeah.
So I'm at least giving it what's called till episode 6, right? At least. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say.
Cool.
Okie dokie.
All right, Thaylien,
so that takes me on to my one, which is going to be Bartender, Glass of God, and this is my interesting one for the season to me. So I'm going to put this at an acquired taste 4-star.
Really?
So this is what's that cooking show?
Chef's Kitchen or Hell's Kitchen?
No, the anime one with the jellyfish tentacles.
Food Wars?
Oh,
Food Wars. Yes, Shokugeki no Soma. That's why I kept thinking wrong. Because I
thought it was Shingeki.
I'm thinking of the net. Shokugeki.
It was like Shingeki no Gyojin, like whatever.
No.
Anyway, and this is like that. If everyone was grown up, everyone was an alcoholic, and the main character didn't want to be there. Okay, let's take this a little bit. Our main character is this guy, and he is a bartender that has been away in Europe, operating at the bar of a fancy hotel, and has come back to Japan for some reason. We're not quite sure what it is yet, but he's taken over a nice little bar that's like a hole in the wall. It's actually on the basement level of a building. And he is the kind of bartender that you really want to get. He's calm, collected, and actually thinks about what his guest is feeling and tries to make a drink that will suit them. Or if they request a specific drink, tailor that drink a little more to their circumstances. Outside of the bar, he's really forgetful and wasn't familiar with certain things like how to answer a call on his really new modern cell phone, or on his smartphone, because he's more familiar with another one, I think. He forgot his library book when he first meets his supporting cast, which is these two. And it's a nice little contrived section where a new hotel, or a big hotel, wants to start up a new actual bar. A proper one like the one he's running. And they want that to be a part of the charm of the hotel to compete with other ones around the area, where they have a proper bartender, a proper quiet bar that you can go to, like this guy with his drinks behind him and everything. But the only criteria that the head of this hotel chain has given our supporting cast to go with is he must be able to make the glass of God. So it's
the
such a vague
gargle
statement.
Blaster. Got it.
No. Apparently it's something just you'll know it when you know it, is what he said. And so these two girls have to go out all around bars and search out bartenders who can make a really good cocktail. And they eventually run into this guy when they find his bar open for the first time in like 10 years. And a review on the internet says, the private bar with the irregular schedule has finally reopened. And so they go down there, they find him in there, and he serves them drinks that they just say, I want, the one says, I just want something that's not too alcoholic tasting, and pink and shaken. And so he serves her a custom Cosmo, and she absolutely loves it. But the other girl is the granddaughter of the chairman of this hotel, and is trying to, oh God, he's just served a Cosmo. What's going on? So she just said, make me a drink that would suit me. And so he hands over basically a highball, whiskey, soda, bit of lemon. But when she tastes it, she has that moment of, oh no, I'm on a nice beach. The wind's blowing, like Food Wars.
A Ratatouille moment.
It takes to another place. And he explains that, oh yeah, no, you've been drinking already, and you're not too worried about the alcohol content. So I wanted to maintain the taste, but lighten it back up. So I used this ice that I prepare in a special way, so that it doesn't melt too easily. So I could lower the alcohol content without the ice melting into it and making it too bland. And so they're like, yeah, no, this is the guy. This is who we want to work for us. And he says, no, I'm going to stay here, thanks. And so the rest of the show seems to be about them and the chairman of this hotel trying to recruit him and put him in. They request him to go to other bars to learn from other people, from other barmen, and see how he stacks up compared to them. Put him into interesting situations where he can show off his talents. And he's not just like a genius. It's actually surprising. He's not just some kind of genius where there's just the right answer for everyone. They put him up against the top tier bartender in the country, and he tailors a drink to the audience where he makes it slightly warmer because the person was running to get there, and so obviously their body temperature is a bit up. So by making it a little warmer, it didn't taste off. It actually tasted more delicious on that first taste. But after the conversation discussing why he'd done that, she had a second sip and said, "Oh, well, that's changed. That's a little, that's different now. Why is that different?" And so he tries to drink the other professional barman made, and it still has the same taste. 2 minutes on, hasn't changed. And the lesson there was, no, you have to make the drink right, not just tailor it. And so it's that scene actually, where he's up against Mr. Perfect. And he goes away from that realizing, oh God, I've still got way more to learn about this. I'm still not good enough. So it's not just like a thing where he's the best at everything he does. It's actually this thing of ups and downs. So I actually found some really nice, gentle series to go with and watch through, with some great character interactions where you see him actually almost Sherlock Holmesing his guests. Like a woman comes in out the rain and she's really stiff and horrible to him. She calls him an asshole for having a fake smile on his face. And so when she says, oh yeah, well yeah, make me a drink then. Make me what would suit me. So he goes upstairs to the kitchen of the place above his and borrows some beef broth. And then puts vodka in it to make a wild bull, which is a particular drink that was invented by this Texas steakhouse. And
am I not surprised?
It's warming and filling. It's more like a soup than a cocktail, but it is a cocktail. And they actually take the time to animate where she takes a sip of it and her shoulders relax. Because she's cold, she's wet, she's angry from work. And he gives her a bit of a talking to about, no, there are two people in the world that should never lie to their customers. The first is doctors and pharmacists, with their patients. And the other is bartenders. And, he explains that to her. And, it's like he wants to help her. He wants to make sure that she has a great time. And he wants her to experience like that one for the road thing of saying goodbye to somebody with the final drink. And maybe that somebody is her angry and irritated self from work. So it's a nice little lesson. And so when she goes, you see her later, when she goes back to work, she actually takes that philosophy herself. And what's funny is that there is actually she asks her assistant, have you ever heard of a wild bull? The cocktail or the book? The cocktail book. What do you mean the book? Well, it's a book, the Wild Bull, about a lawyer who is really strict to everyone around her but has a heart of gold. And she calls everyone arseholes.
I gotta tell you, I'm falling asleep listening to this.
Sorry.
I think I kind of feel like, it's the sort of show that you just want to chill out to and jive with. And it's lessons, but lessons to characters, not lessons to the audience. And it's nice to see. So I do apologize for making it sound too slow. But
no.
I really like the interactions. I really like the way it played off the characters. And there are more characters coming in, more interactions coming, but they're not forcing. They're just like somebody stops into the bar, gets a drink, leaves again, and then their plot develops in the next episode. It's a nice way of progressing. They're introducing characters ahead of time, ready for when their plot line comes in.
I mean, I think the evident thing is that this is certainly tailored for a much more mature audience. Ones that want the slow, peaceful life.
That's what it is. It sounds like a slow life or a slice of life. That's probably why I'm so not interested.
Well, I'd argue it's not so much a slice of life as, I don't know if slow life is a particular genre or anything like that. But, it does scream to me, just sit back, chill out, listen to this book reading of the
it is
film
a
by
show.
Morgan Freeman.
it is a show that is built for the mood it's trying to create with barmen, with it being in a bar, where you go in, it's calm, it's quiet, you get served your drinks, and you are classy. You know, not the kind of rough, like, go in and drink a load of beer. This is a proper bar-style lounge where you go for your actual drinks, for your comfort, and maybe asking for some sage advice from the barkeep. And the whole show kind of keeps that going.
Fair enough.
So yeah. No, I'm really liking it. And I'd like to see if either of you actually try. I'm not expecting Nasuth to, but maybe Xeno would pick it up when he's got 11 or 10 of his.
Not that many, man. I do ask, though, that the animation quality, how good is it? Because it feels quite flat looking at it.
Mm-hmm. I think that they're not trying to show off the animation as such. The animation, they put in nice quick movements when, for example, they want to ice up the glasses. They put in the ice and then stir it round to make sure the ice goes, and then tip it out. So when it's like shaking up drinks and things, it's clean, it's crisp, and fast-paced. But the majority of it is, you know, quiet, calm, sitting at a bar, talking.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think that's really the problem or the strength of the show.
Fair enough. Okay, should we move on to Naz's next one?
Right. So let's move on to what is probably, well, I was going to say the funniest, but the second funniest show for me this season, and that is Fable. The Fable. And despite what you think, this is a show about a bounty hunter. You know, the name is because he's essentially like a fabled bounty hunter. He's so good at his job that, you know, he's like he's like, it's almost like you wouldn't believe it's real. People tell stories about it, you know, that sort of thing. This is actually what drew me in, was that, like, the tagline was that it was a bounty hunter. I didn't realize it was going to be a comedy like this. But this is, to me, this is a 4-star acquired taste. It is just the right kind of dark, dry humor, and I'm so into it. It 100% fits into the exploitation genre. If you don't know what the exploitation genre is, like Pulp Fiction is kind of in that well, a lot of Tarantino movies fit into the exploitation genre. So it's got a lot of pulp elements, a lot of comedic, somewhat unrealistic situations, and really, really like well-defined but oddball characters. The basic premise is the hitman and his assistant, who you see in this image right now. That's the hitman on the left and the assistant on the right. Have been ordered to lay low for a year. They've been doing too many jobs this year. They had to lay low for a while. And while doing this, he's told, because our hitman has no social skills at all. He's just the job. And so he's told, you know, you need to learn to blend in with normal people. It will actually make you better at your job. That's how they frame it. And he's like, oh, it'll make me better at my job. I'll do it. But their new handler, they moved to Osaka, I think, and their new handler is Yakuza, which shouldn't be a problem, but it's going to end up being a problem. You can already tell. And they're absolutely, the reason it's going to be a problem is because they are absolutely forbidden to kill anyone this whole year. And this guy works on instinct, right? If you come at him threateningly, he will react sometimes before he even realizes it. So this could be a problem, right? The characters, the assistant is plucky, down to earth, sarcastic. I really like her. He'll do something weird and she'll just be like, "What is wrong with you?" So, or she goes out on a date with one of the Yakuza members that's been tasked with watching them, and it's part of a distraction technique. They're trying to get her away from Fable so that they can do something else with Fable that I don't really want to get into. And the whole time she's like, "Oh man, he just took me." She's on the outside, she's being like all, cute and sweet and everything. But on the inside, she's like, "He took me to the cheapest place. Oh god, he got the all you can eat. Oh no." It's so good.
What the fuck, Nasuth? Nasuth, what the fuck?
Fable's, we'll get to him in a minute. Actually, we'll get him right now. So Fable has 0 social skills, only shows emotion when watching a Terry Crews-style comedian. The guy even does commercials. Amazing at analyzing situations for murder. Spends a lot of his alone time naked to comedic effect. Only when he's home, right? Only at home. So at one point he gets a parrot, and he starts like trying to fence with the parrot, and the parrot goes after his junk instead. At another point, he's doing weightlifting in the garage, and the main Yakuza handler comes in, just opens the garage door wide open while he's doing it, and like, oh my god, what are you doing? He's so the same skills that let him fake. The same skills that he uses to do murders, right? The same analytical stuff also lets him fake injuries now in order to stay hidden. So like some thugs come at him and he's like, oh crap, I can't punch them. I can't do anything. So he's like, they're kicking at me. I will move my head slightly to lessen the impact, but then make myself go tumbling and act like it hit me a lot harder. I'll take this punch to the nose just right so that it makes my nose start bleeding, but doesn't actually break it. And then I'll be like, oh no god, please stop, don't hit me anymore. Or later on, they're getting pets. And they're at a pet store, right? And the guys show up again because they're tailing them for reasons. And he takes off. He runs, he leads them away from the store. And every time they lose track of him, he kind of slows down and stops until they see him again. And then he just pulls the most ridiculous, like, terrified, screaming face and starts some more. It's so good. He's also really enjoying this. Like, he's learning these new skills, putting them to use this way. He's actually finding it really hilarious because, again, he enjoys this Terry Crews comedian type. It's the only thing that makes him laugh. And he wants to kind of be like that. So he's now overacting for the pure fun of, yes, this is how Americans cook food. No, that's because he was hiding weapons everywhere, right? Is the bastard child of My Home Hero and Way of the House Husband. It's so good. I'm loving every second of this. That's him laughing at the comedian. Like, that's just, oh god.
Right.
I need to see this. I need to watch this.
Yeah.
It's
not quite Bane, Braver, and good, but it's really good.
Yeah, but I like that, like, sort of subtle.
You find the ridiculous ones. I like your ability to find these off the wall things.
Okay. Let's move on. Right. So the next one.
That's her on the date where, like, when they black off everything else and it's just her. That's her internal monologue. Her internal voice.
Good way of doing it. That's
right.
Like theater style.
So the next one we're going to talk about.
Did you want another interruption, Xeno?
So much. Right. I'm going to move on to Data Live. Right. So this is Data Live Season 5. And I am going to give this 1-star acquired taste.
Wow.
Well, so here's the big problem, right? You need Season 4 for any of this to make sense. It goes in, realistically, this is Season 4 Core 2, right? But they're selling it as if it is like a full separate season, but it's not.
Okay, all right, but I want to ask you, because again, I dislike that metric. If you've seen Season 4, what would you rate this?
Probably a lot higher.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, if I'd watched Season 4 and went straight into Season 5, I'd probably say, like, this is a 4-star acquired taste.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But the problem is, because there's no explanation of what the fuck is going on, right? It just railroads hard. Like, you know, it goes straight into the plot that was continued from Season 4. It's just like, I have no context of what's going on right now. I needed a recap episode. You didn't give me one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I can see where Naz going with this one, though, is that if you're trying to, like, binge the shows, having recaps at the start of every season is something you just have to skip, basically, when you're binging.
Yeah, I mean, like
not so desirable.
A lot of shows have like an episode 0. Look, hell, I mean, was it My Hero Academia has like, was it 4 or 6 weeks worth of recap episodes just before they could get into season 7. But that's the point I'm basically trying to bring across. Like, it's good in the sense that it's picking up from where season 4 left off, but it's bad because that's all it's doing. And like, I've got so little context because again, season 4 was, I think that was like 2 years ago, right? Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, but and as a result, like all 3 episodes span one event. That's not common for Data Live. Data Live is very much a case of one event per episode. So realistically, I would have even given this a nothing special if it didn't actually get on with it in the 3rd episode. So it's suffering because it is effectively season 4 core 2, right? But they just didn't name it that. And that realistically does set a lot of expectations. It's akin to oh god, is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon, right? So okay, so with Mushoku Tensei and Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, season 4, right, specifically. Mushoku Tensei had 2 seasons between core 1 and core 2 of season 2. Even season
when you say seasons, you mean season like it came out in summer and then there was fall and winter.
Yes. Exactly, right? Yeah. So and then, and now spring we're getting core 2. Right?
Yeah.
They did that with season 1. They did that with Ancient Magus Bride as well. Now, there is opportunity for you to still remember this stuff, but when you actually don't air the content for a year, a la the Misfit of Demon King Academy, right? And you're not expecting this, you're kind of blindsided by, what the fuck is this about? Which I think is actually a very negative thing, right? Which is why it is as low as a 1-star acquired taste, right?
I don't think that. But it's your score. It's your score.
Well, like, the animation is excellent. The plot is brilliant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, I had to fucking dredge it out of the recesses of my mind. What the fuck happened? I can't remember. I had to go look it up. Right? That's the problem.
But that's not the fault of the show, though. I don't think you should be judging the show because production takes a long time. You should judge the show on the merits of the show. If you had just finished the other season, the season 4, and you were coming into season 5 knowing it.
I counterpoint you, good sir. But that's the problem. I didn't know it.
But you shouldn't judge the show because you don't have a good memory.
Right, but, good sir, right, were you not also the person... Now, you may argue that this is not the same thing, but season 2 of Invincible, where it just did 4 episodes and then like, oh yeah, we'll be back at some point in time to give you more episodes.
But that's just because I like binging TV. It's not that I would have forgotten what happened in the first 4 episodes. It's that I would have had to spend months waiting for the next 4 to finish the story.
Fair, but it is a victim of the production.
But that wouldn't change my opinion of the quality of the show.
So you think I should actually rate this higher?
Yeah.
Because okay,
now,
that's fair.
Here's the thing. This is for in Xeno's on Xeno's side.
I really should be saving this for next week's episode.
If they'd done 4 episodes and claimed that was season 2, and then come back for 6 episodes and said that was season 3, would that change your rating of the show?
No.
No, I thought Nasuth was trying to push the rating down, not actually.
No. I want it to go up. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. I do get that.
On Nasuth's side, this is what you get for picking 22 shows a season.
No, that is also.
So your
true.
brain is full. Your brain is full of Curtin Way. You have completely forgotten everything. I am surprised you remember who we are.
But the
Sorry, I
talking about,
completely
Nasuth?
derailed us.
It is valid. It is a valid point in things. But again, for one event to again happen for the course of 3 episodes, it's like, oh, all he did was go to a high school in 3 episodes, and that was episode 2.
That's what I complained about with Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Part 1. So yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah, so it can just be a case of it is brought down by that. But I mean, even if it was a case of it was an episode 0, but so it never makes it to the official DVD release or whatever. It's just literally, here's a recap of what happened last season.
I can see that would be helpful,
a lot of anime,
sure.
a lot of anime do. But anyway,
okay.
Animation is great. The narrative's still going on. It is still absolutely stupid, Chad ridiculous, with a guy blowing kisses and girls turning into pieces of paper. So,
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Should we move on?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Without getting spoilers or anything.
Exactly. I am going to go for one of the 2 that actually surprisingly stood out for the season. South Korean Harry Potter. I mean, Dragon's Raja.
I was like, what the fuck is he banging on about?
So, Dragon's Raja. I have put this at a rather convenient, acquired taste 4-star.
I thought this
came out of nowhere, didn't it?
No, but this hasn't come out of nowhere though, because this is I think is it a Chinese danhua? It's
either Chinese or South Korean
production.
Production. Yes.
It's been out for years, but the problem is it's only just getting a Japanese dub.
Yes, it's only just come out over here, so we've never seen it. It's not, nobody's seen it. This is for us new this season. Now, this show is gorgeous. Okay, and what's surprising is the localization has made quite a lot of the things we call out about many of the Chinese or South Korean things. Has made them a lot easier to be digested. There's a lot of the leaps that would come through usually are not so much leaps in understanding from the social background kind of thing. Now, I call this Harry Potter, and it kind of is. Our main character is has been left by his parents with his uncle and aunt and his cousin. And they are horrible to him. They're putting him to work to try and get them to send him down the shops for all their groceries. They are mean to him, say he'll never succeed. They have absolutely zero regard for his feelings or anything, and he's kind of internalized it. The only thing he's good at is tactical games, like StarCraft or similar. And
wait. Just want to make sure we are talking about video games, not some other. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, it probably extends to board games too, but yeah.
Possibly. But no, it's just video games in that sense. To the point where the first thing we meet of him is him playing off against one of his friends, and he's actually handicapping himself by using a little cat's tongue mouse on a laptop keyboard.
Oh, God.
A button mouse?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Like cat's tongue joystick instead of a regular mouse.
Wait, haven't they been... They've come out of circulation decades ago.
Yeah, so he's using one of those to handicap himself in this game.
Oh my God.
And he does lose. But then when he actually plays with a mouse, he's amazing to get this strategy game going. But he's given... Okay, the show starts with episode 0, this 45-minute episode 0, which is like every high school reject's ideal situation. It's like their fantasy completely. He's part of a club, and the girl he likes asks him to help them pick the venue for a leaving ceremony they're going to do, like an end of year celebration.
And now this is all inside a video game. None of this is real.
No. This is in.
Wow, that's actually real.
In his real life.
Holy crap!
So
okay.
Yeah, so this in his life. So the girl he likes to take him out what he thinks is a chance to get to know her better, and he's going to confess to her at this thing. But at the same time, he's offered a scholarship entrance to this particular school that his parents went to, and the professor that comes to interview all the people going to the school is really enthusiastic, like absolutely effusive, that he must have this one guy in his class. Okay, he absolutely must. And the students he brings with him to do the interview are like, well, he plays all right, but he's hardly worth all of this. Hold on.
What?
Sorry, getting spammed.
Oh dear.
De-spam.
So, but at this event, he puts off answering his professor to go to this event to make his confession. He's asked to stand on stage to make a speech, but when he gets there, there's two other guys that are also asked to stand on stage, right, in particular positions, and it turns out this completely other guy wanted to confess the same girl, so had these guys stand here, this guy and two fat guys, to be the I and O's in I love you, spelled out on a big screen across the stage.
Oh my god.
Made his confession. So he's made literally the butt of the joke to this guy's confession to this girl, and that girl has actually been like chatting back and forth with him the entire time and wasn't interested in our main character in the slightest in that way. So he's like at his lowest point. But then this beautiful red-haired student from this school bursts in a lovely red dress with assistants, marches down into this venue, and has her assistants redo his suit into the school's uniform suit, and ask him, "Will you join us now?" And they march off the stage together and get into a flash car and drive off into the sunset together.
Oh my god, it really is like a nerd wet dream.
It really fucking is, right.
But then of course we then go on to the actual show, which is they're going to this they're going to a magical school and they're going to learn to be dragon slayers.
Okay, and I need to railroad you because like we're going into this. Okay, so I like the way this is going. The animation's gorgeous. The main character is kind of Harry Potter-like, but he is actually reacting fairly normally to all of this, including calling people out for bizarre stuff that's happening. And I really want to see where this show goes. Okay, so one of my biggest hatreds towards the term calling something Harry Potter-like, right, is the fact that it just fixates on our main protagonist and everyone else is just like, well, you're either next to the main protagonist or you don't exist at all, right? Are there points in time where the camera leaves the main protagonist? That's really important to me. Good, plenty right? I hate it when the camera fixates.
Where they like call out to his.
Or there are scenes where he's not in at all.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, there's a whole scene where he's. There's multiple scenes where he's not even referenced, even though they're in some way, planning out what's going to happen to him. And by the third episode, episode 2012, he's at this school, and they've all had the students have had like a free day, and decide to get involved in absolute all-out tactical warfare. With realistic guns and suits body armor suits and things, to decide who's going to be, I think it's like the president, something like that. Yeah, but it's not called that. It's not called that. It's more like an adjustment of the rules and how it's dealt with.
Okay.
And his thing is he's just basically there.
Okay, so
does get involved.
The StarCraft thing. Does that have any bearing at all on what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, so apparently the kind of same skills that you need for the gaming will apparently play into the tasks that you'll use for learning their versions of alchemy and magical powers.
This is just a fucking nerd's wet dream. I swear to the fucking Christ.
It is. And that's, but at the same time, it's done really, really well.
Okay. One of the other big concerns I have with a lot of danhwa is that the episode length is not consistent. Like, sometimes you'll have an episode which is like 8 minutes long. Sometimes you'll have an episode which is like 30 minutes long. Sometimes you'll have an episode which is like 5 minutes long, right?
It looks to be fairly consistent to after the first episode, the first 45-minute episode. Everything seems to be about 20 to 24 minutes long. I haven't watched further than the third episode right now, but all three of the ones after, including episode 4, look to be the same approximate lengths.
Okay, and then my last question. So the scene that you're referring to, where they have like the all-out bloodbath for picking out who is, class president or whatever.
This one.
I've seen it come up so many times on shorts and things, but the second I find out that it's a danhwa, I'm just like, right?
So,
hold on. My question though is, in the shorts, it's displayed as like, just one kid is just murdering people. I assume that they just get back up after the game's over.
It kind of. It's actually a comedy bit. The bullets they're using are compressed sleep agent, basically.
Right.
They're paralysis kind of thing. So they splash red like blood.
Okay.
And immediately knock them unconscious.
So it
one
simulates
of the teachers says, no, look, it's a tranquilizer. You just do this, and it simulates you falling unconscious. And then you go, but wait, if that's a tranquilizer, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
And the guy just falls over. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
Fair enough.
I'm liking where it's going.
Doesn't sound terrible.
I'll give it a go. Right.
I probably won't because I'm already full up, but doesn't sound terrible.
Right. Nasuth.
Go Loser Ranger! Go Loser Ranger! Da-na-na. So, again, because it's only 3 episodes, I can't push this any higher. It is a 4-star acquired taste. I think it's got so much promise. I think this could easily be a must-watch, the same way that Bravern was. I mean, different reason for being a must-watch, but the same way that Bravern was a tokusatsu that I think other people should watch, I think this is also like a Sentai show that other people could watch without having to enjoy Sentai shows, especially. I really like the way that they frame this. So the Rangers aren't the good guys; they're very clearly the bad guys. Even though they defeated monsters who were coming here to conquer Earth, they themselves are not actually good people and are using the situation to their own advantage to try and they basically turn it into a job. Right? Every Sunday, they let the fight the bad, the chaff enemies come down and fight them, so they can literally put on a Sentai show, like a live action Sentai show, like you'd see in Japan. They'll have Sentai shows out in the park or whatever. It's an event that people come to, they pay, and it's just a little live action play. It's like that, but it's real. So I like that. I like the weak chaff enemy has more integrity than the heroes and is now going to infiltrate their ranks to try and take them down. I like that he doesn't instantly become the best at everything. Like, he gets caught twice by other people. And I think the second one directly leads into consequences for him, which I'll get into a little bit later.
I think Xeno's going to ask that. Hang on, our main character is one of the chaff enemies.
No. I'm not going to ask. I'm going to say, right? Pro wrestling's not fake.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It is that sort of thing. But everyone thinks it's real. Is the thing. Everyone in the crowd thinks it's actually real. So the big blunders. There are the twists in the narrative are nicely telegraphed without being too obvious. If you're really paying attention, you'll see them coming. But if you're not, if you're just sitting back and watching the show, you'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's a neat little surprise. The fighters, we've learned that the fighters each have a knack for different forms of shifting. So, like, he's really good at shifting into people. One of the other fighters is really good at shifting into, because they're shapeshifters. I'm sorry, they are. I should have made that clear. They're shapeshifters. One of the other ones is really good at turning into a car, or vehicles, that sort of thing. And I think that's going to play into things later. The male trainee, who I don't know if he's in any of these shots, but there are two trainees that he runs into in the Ranger program. One of them is a girl who discovers him and basically wants to team up with him, and the other one is the male Ranger who overheard those two talking, and I think he specifically went to go tell Red that something was up, and that's why Red shows up at the end of episode 3. Which I was like, at first I was like, wait, how did he know that Fighter F is our main character?
D. No, that was D.
Oh, yes, D. You're right, it's D. Sorry, F is the one that they kill. How did they know D was up there, specifically with the artifact? And I think it's because literally this guy, who he's pretending to be right now, the pink-haired one, goes and tells Red. So that's how they know to show up. Which again, if that's true, really nicely telegraphed. It'd be nice if they told us, and I think they will. But there you go. The first major fight that we see has relatively clever uses of D's abilities, because again, these are all weak chaff enemies. There's no way he can stand up, but he does the best he can. He uses his abilities creatively. But at the end of it, there's a fake out death. I know it's a fake out death. It's not going to be real. There's no way it's going to be real. And I kind of hate that, but also I'm curious how they're going to get him out of it.
So I don't rate this as highly as you. I probably give this. I'm being very pessimistic in saying this. I'm saying this is a quiet taste 1 star. It's beautiful. It is gorgeous. But I don't like the sheer volume of, coincidentally, I know about this because I was there. And then it shows you a different camera angle of the same thing. And then like, oh, wait, what the fuck? Right?
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't like that, what's called really sloppy sleight of hand shit. If it was a case of if you rewind the footage and you can see him, like, in the corner, I'm fine with that, right? But if it's a case of, the only way to know is if we show you a different camera angle, I don't like that at all. Additionally, how do people know about certain characters being different things? It just feels like there's too much...
I think there's something going on with her. I think she
exactly, but that's the
knows
point,
things.
though. We're 3 episodes in, and I think she's one of the others that are ditched, right?
Yeah.
Because D is not the only one that's run away. I think she's one of the other ones, but it's again like we're 3 episodes in. How long is it going to be before we get? And we're not getting closure. That's the big problem, right? How did Red find out this stuff was happening, right?
Yeah, I've speculated, but I don't know for sure, yeah.
Exactly, and I think we're going to end up with so many questions and so few answers.
I don't know. I mean, you might be right, but I have a little more faith in it than you, I think.
That's fair. That is fair. I mean, like, it is certainly one that I'm going to keep watching for now, at least. I'm definitely giving this 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we move forward?
Oh, we're coming into the home stretch, aren't we?
Yep, we are. So my next one is... sorry, I just realized that I didn't correct the title. There should be commas in this. So, studio apartment, good lighting, angel included. This is a dumb, fun... I swear I hit the button. Yeah. I swear I hit the button. I've hit the button.
It's broken.
Refresh the thing. No, just refresh it, Nasuth.
Oh, good point. That one.
There you go. I don't know what happened there. Right.
Strange.
So, studio apartment, good lighting, angel included, is, I think, a fun, silly rom-com anime where our main protagonist, who is... our stereotypical dense as a brick boy, ends up making friends with a whole heap of girls that, are special, right? So we have our main titular angel, right, who ends up falling asleep on his balcony. She thought that the whole apartment block was his, but it, no, the one room is mine. That's it. So he's not overtly stupid. Like, at this point in time, he's realizing of all the stuff that they bought for her, the one thing that they should have bought was another bed. He's not overtly stupid, but at the same time, he does do silly things. And of course, there's a love triangle. Of course there is. It is dumb. It is fun. It is enjoyable. I'm giving this a 4-star, nothing special. Right?
That's about where I thought you were going to go.
Yeah, this is not going to be for everyone. The animation in places can be a bit crude. They do tend to lean on the whole, side portrait shots and things like that. Because of bloody Banished former hero, I can't not see those anymore. Thank you very much. You ruined anime for me. But in other places, it is animated very well. This is in similar vein to Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It is a slice of life, and the angel needs to stop revealing herself as an angel. Stop spreading her wings, literally, because she's going to out herself. She's going to get captured and so on and so forth. But she keeps doing it because she's used to it. She's used to, as we're used to walking, she is used to flying. We have a scene where she's trying to have a conversation with a cat, trying to find out where our main protagonist works. Not realizing that cats don't hold that level of intelligence. Yeah. We have other spiritual creatures as well. One of the other girls is a Yukiona, which is it's actually her. She's basically I think a winter spirit or a snow spirit or something like this.
I know what that expression
when she gets
means.
Snow Woman.
I've seen anime before.
Snow Woman, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. And when she gets emotional, she can't. So everything starts freezing. She can't control the weather and things like that. She can't control herself from controlling the weather. She gets excited when she first ever makes her first friend. Right, okay, I took this screenshot specifically for one thing. Look at the background characters. Look how bad they look, right? That's how bad some of the animation can get, but typically in the places that it's not really relevant. I mean, when they're stood there for like half a minute, like that, it's particularly bad.
Right.
Look at that one guy going.
So they're drawn all right, but they're animated like
not
crap. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, just the one guy. But anyway, but yeah.
So you say it's less of a cheese sandwich and more of a cheese toasty. It's still kind of bland, but it's good. It's tasty. You'd eat it.
Yeah. I'd eat it. So I'm gonna. This is one I'm gonna keep watching. It could turn super bland, or it could, remain enjoyable.
Cool.
Nice. All right, so I think I'm going to finish off my lot. I've only got the one left. You guys have got more.
I've only got one more.
With Kaiju number 8.
Oh, Production IG back at it again.
Oh yes, this edges just into the must watch by 1 star.
That's fair.
Because we haven't seen quite where this is going just yet, but what I have seen, I've really enjoyed. This is a world that has kaiju, giant monsters that attack them. And they seem to just be monsters in general. They're not always giant. We start off with a giant monster, but we quickly find, that one, in fact.
Yeah.
And we quickly find, though, that there are smaller kaiju, mid-sized, even small flying ones. And we are following a gentleman that tried desperately to get onto the defense team that fights kaijus, but instead is relegated to being a cleaner. Basically, whenever the military blows up a kaiju, disposal. Yes, he comes in for hazardous waste disposal on all the gore that's left over, and it's not a nice job, but he does it. He works hard until the day when so this is him up here, and until this guy joins, the guy with the white hair. Wanted to get he's doing part-time work in that place because he wants to get some training on kaiju disposal so that he can apply to the kaiju control team, the military
force. Defense force.
With the defense force, yes, with a bit more of the knowledge of what the kaiju are and, on the inside, which is technically what our main character did. Unfortunately, our main character kept failing out of the course, and he's now 32. But due to the event, he gets informed that they've raised the entry age because there's not enough young people joining to 32 for this year.
Wait, is he 32? We know he's in his 30s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's 32.
Okay.
He said this is, even with the fact they've raised the age, this is his last chance.
Oh, okay.
He's previously given up. So this is his last chance to join the thing. The reason being that he and his childhood friend had their homes destroyed by a kaiju and vowed that they would kill kaiju when they grew up. But only she got in. And she is now this legendary captain of the 3rd Division, known far and wide for her cool and collected destruction of kaiju. So he finally gets the will back to join her and starts trying out for the defense force again, until we don't know why, but for some reason he gets infected by a kaiju, that thing, guy, and becomes a kaiju, a humanoid kaiju, but with a twist that he's still got his own mind, and when he concentrates on it, can change back into himself again. So
see, that was one of the things that actually annoyed me, is he changes back and they don't explain how. Like, later they kind of do it, like he just has to focus. But how did he do it? Was it because of the memory that he was having at the time of him and the girl? That was one of the few things that annoyed me.
It's implied there, which I actually like that. I like that it's not clear what triggers the transformation. Because it means we can work it out more as time goes on.
Yeah.
So the plot kicks off with him and his new friend, much younger friend, applying for the defense force, and him having to go through this, suppressing his own powers. Because if he's going to the defense force, if he turns into a kaiju there, they will just shoot him. And so he actually, so far up to episode 3, has managed to do this. He's managed to get through to the point he is now without using his kaiju powers. But he's not doing well because he's 32, a little bit unfit, and struggling to do the things that other people seem to be quite gifted at. They're part of a group that seems to be all people that have deliberately come through like colleges and things for the use of going into the defense force. So they're really talented group of people that he's facing up against. But he's, it's actually been really funny to watch him. I don't think I've seen a single bit of bad animation in here. And it is this big thing where everybody looks like they could die at any minute, because you get these moments where, they think they're okay. They think they're just like going to finish cleaning up a monster, and suddenly a smaller one bursts up through the ground and nearly eats a main character.
Yeah.
But then, the mad scramble to get away from it. People break their legs and get caught out, and they're only saved at the last second by people, who are literally, it's their job to kill kaiju, coming up and finally getting there to kill it.
And sometimes our main character pees out of his nipples.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. I mean, this show's amazing. It's got like a really nice, serious tone, but then it also has our character peeing out of his nipples.
Like this. So it's like, what really I loved the thing where they just briefly glossed over it, but he obviously got hungry. And so when they're running away, his powers start going out of control, and like an alien mouth comes out of his mouth, but then latches onto a crow and eats it. And then suddenly he comes back to his normal, like, humanoid kaiju form. So from all these tentacles suddenly go away because he's now no longer hungry, but then he needs to pee, and he's wondering how he can even pee with, the plating on him, and he just goes pew. His nipples. Nobody will ever take me as a bride.
I mean, look at this. Look at this scene where he's like in his mostly human form, but he's got his kaiju head, and he's like, just begging this guy not to do. I can't remember what it was now.
Don't leave me alone, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. This show is.
So there is a great balance of weirdness, comedy. Like, he's getting the shit kicked out of him by Secret Service agents.
I hate her so much. You're supposed to hate her, though, I
love to hate her. Yes, I love to hate her. So this character is rich, is talented, and has obviously grown up being trained for what she's going to go into in the Defense Force. And so she's able to do everything. She's the golden child here, and he's trying to beat her.
I think they briefly touched upon it at the very end of the second episode. Her family are part of the tech conglomerate that are doing stuff.
That's why she's got one of these suits for herself.
Yeah.
So she can just pick up a car.
Which are made using kaiju parts, apparently.
Yep. So I've remained particularly silent about this.
Amazingly.
I don't know if either of you have actually read the manga on this.
No.
I have been.
Todd has told me privately that it's really good and that I should read it.
Yeah. So highlights.
Shout out to you, Todd.
Shout out to you, Todd.
Highlights. The music for this series is absolutely breathtaking. Right? It's one of the very few shows that I'm like, oh damn, this music pops, so to speak.
Yes.
The thematic music as well as the intro and outro, they've done an absolutely brilliant job on this. I am concerned by the pace. Basically, the first episode, the vast majority of it is made up.
Interesting.
Yeah. This is a Shonen Jump series, right? So a manga, right? And it doesn't really go at any great pace to resolve things. And this comes to my second point. I'm concerned that from episode 2, we've already got recap segments from the previous episode.
But that's kind of common.
Before the intro, and that's kind of more a standard, almost American. On the last episode of this, we got this, therefore let's go.
Right, but you don't typically get that outside of Shonen Jump things, right?
No, you don't.
And I am concerned that they will get longer and longer because this currently only has 12 volumes of manga. And I'm honestly wondering, like, where are we even going to finish this season? You know, in terms of the manga, because it's 12 episodes. So
Would you say? So you said that the show made up a lot of stuff for the first episode. Would you say that it's done a better job of establishing, like, our character personalities and desires and things
The
in the
world.
manga has. And the world, yeah.
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
not in the slightest. It's the same. It's on par.
Okay.
What they have done better with this is probably establishing shots. They have done an absolute fantastic job bringing fidelity to the world. Shots like this, or the big important one to me is when they actually set up the crane to actually
Yes.
Strip down the kaiju. Yes.
Yeah. That didn't exist in the manga, or if it did, it may have existed for like one brief moment as a singular panel.
And they've really given a lot of attention to mechanical stuff in a lot of this, kind of the same way that older shows used to. And part of that might be the CG. The CG might let them do that a little easier.
Yeah.
There's
What really got me in the opening thing, I don't know if this was anything in the manga at all. I'm fairly sure this might have been made up for the show. But in the show, the traffic lights have next to the red light
Kaiju,
have a red light kaiju symbol as well. And I think that just really shows the world that this is where kaiju exists, and therefore they've even got a road sign for it.
Yeah. So there is a lot of room for potential. The animation is fucking gorgeous, but I'm concerned at the pace that they're going to go. So anyway,
as someone who hasn't read it so far, I think the pacing is really good. I think in the first 2 episodes, you get so much information about the characters in the world without it feeling rushed. Like it feels at a relatively natural pace.
I would also say you'll probably want a second season. The likelihood of you getting one is going to be minimal.
Yeah.
Ah, shame.
Unless they start making things up.
Right. Move on to your next one.
Yeah, we know how well that turns out. Yes, so my final one is KonoSuba Season 3. Which canonically does follow the movie.
Yep.
It's a must-watch 5. What are you thinking? Of course it's a must-watch 5. What the fuck is wrong with you? First off, I look forward to Crane Silently Plays in out there. If you're watching this, I look forward to you leaving a nice long comment about this show, because you always do, and I always love it. It's so good. If you haven't seen the other parts of KonoSuba, go watch the other parts of KonoSuba. Skip Mega Man. But go watch the other parts of KonoSuba. I'm really enjoying this so far. The comedy is on point. The characters have not changed in the slightest. Some of that is potentially because they've been working on the video
evolution
game
table here?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
Yes, loli, waifu, sword waifu. I think this is great.
Mommy.
This is
Lolly
correct.
waifu mommy.
God.
Sword mommy.
I really didn't take any notes on this because it's KonoSuba. So essentially in this one, they've introduced a princess, who is the little one on the left, and she wants to hear stories from Kazuma about his exploits, because they're now legend essentially. And she likes the story so much because Kazuma is a bullshitter of the highest caliber, that they basically abduct him and take him to the castle so he can tell her more stories. And because Kazuma just wants to live an easy, simple life, and the castle gives him this opportunity, he's like, yes,
perfect.
I will stay here as long as I possibly can. And comedy ensues, of course, when the others try to come and get him. There's comedy to begin with when they're doing the meeting with the princess. Everything he does to, all the character interactions between him and the 3 girls are incredible. The lecherous, awful behavior that he does just all the time is, I hate it, but I love that I hate it.
Well, actually, sorry, can I interject?
Yeah.
So there's the thing that Aqua says in, I think, the second episode, or is it the first episode? No, it is the first. Where Kazuma.
Oh god, the Kazuma PTSD. Sorry, continue.
So, Kazuma was like sniffing their dirty laundry and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it actually makes me think, it's like, Was she actually making that up?
No, I think
he
that's
says
confirmed in the third episode, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so. Because remember, he's like begging on the floor, and they're like, they bring it up again, and he's like, yeah, I don't remember the exact wording, but yeah, they basically confirm it in the third episode, I think.
I don't remember that at all, but like, yeah, basically, I just feel like, you know, that there is no low that is beyond them. And yeah, no, the series, like, it's fucking,
we are so back.
So funny. So funny. I had very, very deep concerns for the series, but I think
based on what we've heard, yes, but so far,
well, no, not just what we've heard, but it's just like, you know, look at how many sequel shows we get, and it's just not a patch on the original. But this just full dives off the the KonoSuba diving board and just, you know, nails it.
Everything that was missing from Mega Man is right here.
Yeah. Doesn't mean it couldn't go south.
Oh yeah,
but
could totally go
the
south.
characters.
Still, even if it does go south, you should still go watch the other parts of KonoSuba.
Yes. And always remember, we support the Soviet Union.
Oh my god. You just wanted to make that joke. Right.
Always.
All right, Zeno, take us out.
Cool. So
unless anyone has anything else to add to that.
Nope, too late. I hit the button.
Moving on.
Right,
Woo!
so my last one, which is Mysterious Disappearances. This is currently a 1-star must-watch. Right? It can go in either direction. And I argue that this is the equivalent of basically Japanese The Ancient Magus Bride. Whereas The Ancient Magus Bride really heavily leans on English folklore, or you know British folklore and things like that. This is leaning very heavily on Japanese folklore. The first episode has been heavily shorted, you know, on the internet and things. Loads of people like put clips of the first episode on the internet, which actually struck my interest. This was the last show I picked up, actually, out of the 22, and I'm glad I have. The animation is on point. The folklore behind it is really interesting.
Just quickly, is it telling you stories that you don't already know about folklore? Like is this expanding your horizons? 100%. Oh, excellent.
Yes. Yeah. But the fan service is a little much. As a degenerate, okay, but for most people, it's just like, can we change the camera angle a little? Yeah. Well, no, I mean, again, like it's not the end of the world, but again, it is really interesting how it escalates, how it changes and things. How our main characters have basically gotten involved. So we've got two characters. We got this boy and the girl, and they seem to be otherworldly beings that should not exist on the mortal plane, and they're acting as siblings. They may not be, but one of them is trying to get the other home, right? And they need to buy train fare, but the train fare cannot be bought with regular money. It seems to require like cursed artifacts. And in the first episode, that's that one's the sister, or sister. But the one of the cursed artifacts that they come across in the first episode is something that, if read, it's a book. If you read it under certain conditions, will allow you to change your age. You can revert to being a child and things like that. But,
oh dear.
So one of our main characters, who we've not seen the original form of as of yet, that's the guy, that's the brother sort of thing. She's an aspiring writer, right? So she's trying to write, but she's struggling with real life issues. The stresses of working, the stresses of paying rent, the stresses of feeding oneself, the stresses of all this sort of stuff. So she's struggling to write. She actually won an award when she wrote a book at the age of 15. So when she ends up accidentally cursing herself to be a child again, she's writing like there's no tomorrow, because all those concerns have
emotions.
Yeah, they've just left her. She can't comprehend them, sort of thing. But she's just writing like something that writes really fast. Typewriter. I don't know.
AI generation.
1,000 monkeys with 1,000 typewriters.
Yes, she's writing like 1,000 monkeys with 1,000 typewriters. But when she's like told to, you need to revert and things, she resists heavily, and she is like coughing up loads of blood and things like this.
Are her eyes always like that?
Her eyes are, yes.
Okay.
But when she's... Wow, I can't believe the other character just hasn't appeared yet. But when she... when she's coughing up blood and things, she's told, like, yes, you have shrunk in size and stature. This is her. There we go. So that's her... Sorry, the left half is her modern day self. The right half is her, like, 15-year-old self, sort of thing. But yeah, so when she's told by the boy, the brother, that like, yes, you have shrunk yourself down, but that blood's gotta go somewhere, right? You haven't decreased your mass, you've just decreased your size. So
it's like
that's just the first episode.
You can't. Eventually, if you shrink too small, you won't be able to breathe because the oxygen molecules will literally not be able to go into your lungs.
Kinda, yeah. So it's all about curses and spirits and all sorts of stuff like this. I'm quite enjoying it.
Interesting.
See, this is how you know it's not too much of an ecchi show, because in a truly ecchi show, that the extra
this angle
mass
would be
was
very
just
different
to her tits.
Oh, ha! Ha, ha, you're not wrong.
He says that. So let's wrap up then. So I'm surprised none of the I'm not kidding. None of the screenshots have actually appeared of her. So,
Oh dear.
but I mean that's her on who's
the ground
kneeling over. But that's not from the
we've
first
seen-
episode.
We've seen her in a few shots, but like it's usually from angles where you can't see her face.
Yeah, this is just anyway.
Right. Or is this her? Wait, is this her?
No, that's not her. That's not her.
Okay.
That's one of the other. Anyway, right. Cool.
Yeah. So it seems like I've been the harshest, apart from because Xeno's had
Are you fucking
22
kidding?
and he's been really harsh. But as far as actually rating shows that
Yeah,
other
I've
people
dropped.
like, I've
I've
actually been a lot
dropped
harsher
some,
this week.
but you've rated them
this
poorly.
month,
Yeah.
So or shows that Xeno liked more.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm far more of a downer. Xeno's just picked bad shows because he's just picked all the shows. So
He went to the
all his
buffet
good-
and said,
all
"I'll take
Xeno's
one
good
of
shows-
everything."
Well,
all
I
Xeno's
wanted
good shows
to.
are also watched by me and Nasuth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the other side of it. Right, okay, so cool, let's move on to the supporter questions. Right. Zrugel asks, it is now time for the supporter questions. So while I'm doing that, you folks at home can make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it if you can. Damn it, the screenshot of hers just appeared. It really is the best metric for you to show YouTube that you like what we do. Zrugel also asks, if you could forget an anime to watch it again for the first time, what would it be?
ooh,
Now, I already answered this in Discord, but 100% Akira. 100%.
yeah, that's a
No.
good one.
See, I like where you're going with
100%.
that. I like that where you're going with that, but I feel like you get more by watching Akira multiple times. Like it's
Yes, but then I could watch it again multiple times and
Multiple
get
times
those
to get the same thing. Yeah, yeah. Having forgot it all means you could rewatch it for that.
I
that's
know
really
all the things
tough.
now. No.
Cyberpunk Edge Runner.
this is oh yes,
that's also a fair
good
answer.
choice.
Yeah.
What was a show that made me cry?
Gobbits?
God, different reason. That was in rage. I cried tears of rage. No, I might just go back for something that just made me feel good at the time. I'd forget El Hazard and watch it again.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I think if my brother were here, he would say Utena.
All right. Ricky says, Riky's7, coffee user, asks, if you could make an anime into live action, what would it be?
1,000% Akira.
Oh my god. Budget we need for that.
Gushing over magical girls.
Oh my god.
No, I would not. That was a no.
I want to say the helpful fox Senko.
That'd be good. I would actually say Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Yeah, there you go.
Because you could get some really good special effects on that. But of course, it's slice of life most time.
Yeah.
And so it's just really good costumes after that.
Thaylien asks, the anime you picked has to be made by M. Night Shyamalan. Are you still looking forward to it? No.
Yes.
Ew.
Ew.
I mean, it would be awful, but I would look forward to it being awful.
Oh my god, he would destroy Akira.
I know.
Honestly, you'd actually. Anyway, right. So moving on to the comments. First of all, from the news, Zrugal says, if you had told me 10 years ago that selling hacked Pokemon could get someone arrested, I'd have thought it was satire. President, you know what? Wait.
I could probably dig up that thing on the Onion somewhere.
Although, doing some at-home math, he had to have sold a few hundred Pokemon to get that much profit.
Oh,
just
with the internet,
a few
these
hundred.
days.
Yeah. Wow, I'm blown away by that. The Boy and the Heron made so much money. I still don't know what it's about, but the animation looks really good. So there's that. I really want to bloody watch it.
I'm still waiting for it. Yeah, yes. I don't think it's out on DVD yet, but
I can't believe I saw Kung Fu Panda 4 before I saw Boy and the Heron.
And oh my, lying interns, I guess they won't get hired. Speaking
in fact, I think we fired one, or at least cut back their duties.
Yeah. Right, so next Stromba Shell says Yuaso
Muramatsu.
Living till 91 is pretty good life. He worked on a few anime I recognized too. Right? Yep. Considering Netflix will no longer be reporting numbers, I'm going to guess their numbers have already started to go back down. People signed up to finish watching a few things, but they won't stay subscribed. Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
that's a good guess.
You know,
that's a good guess.
It's entirely possible.
With those beautiful mugs. With those beautiful mugs.
Wish those beautiful mugs.
Wish those beautiful mugs was available in the US, even though I don't usually like the taste of wood. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually.
As a point, most of those will have a steel liner like this.
Yeah.
So these ones have a steel liner to
Can
you separate that?
Help get the woody face.
Can you separate that, or is that like?
No. It's built in. It is. That's how the handles secured onto it is actually riveted to the inner.
Okay. The writer change for One Piece makes me more hopeful.
No.
Dear fucking God, what is with my eyes? Right, sorry. The writer change for One Punch Man makes me more hopeful. Rick and Morty is at least funnier than Jumanji and Venom. That is true.
That is true.
That is the true statement.
But I feel like they actually get the humor.
If they try to squash the whole of season 1 into a movie, I'm just gonna cry. I will not watch that until someone reviews it, I swear to love of God.
Yep.
Right. Moving on to the cast. So Strong Michelle says, the Goku Frieza topic was really cool. That was a well done what if scenario. Would have been interesting to hear you talk to Attack on Titan. I feel like it would be cool to deconstruct and swap its characters. Maybe we could return to the
the topic later.
What if Eren was on the side of the humans?
Right. It doesn't quite fit, but a show I would have added would have been the brothers from Blue Exorcist. Neither of them were evil, but I really thought one of them was going to be when I watched it. I can't remember Blue Exorcist, unfortunately.
No.
Similarly, I think swapping Kazuma and Aqua would have been hilarious. Quite possibly, yes.
Yes. But
maybe.
Would much really change?
How would that?
No, I don't think it would.
I think it would, because Aqua's actually does want to get things done, even though she doesn't want to be there. The sooner they defeat the Demon Lord, the sooner she goes. Yeah. The sooner she gets back to being a goddess.
Yep. So. Have you guys done a top 10 betrayals of the main character episode? I don't think so.
Every time I insult Xeno.
Thank you so much. Anyway. Zrugel says, poor Xeno, everybody interrupts him. I know, right?
I don't know what he's talking about.
No.
Right. Zrugel says, if we're talking nature versus nurture, I think fuck you so much. I hate you. God damn it. Right. If we're talking nature versus nurture, I think being a bad guy was Light's nature. For example, Misa, from Death Note as well, had a Death Note and didn't use it the same way. At least Light wasn't a villain when he lost his memories because he didn't have the means, but he was still the same person.
I think I can argue that point, but I don't want to rewatch it to get at the actual talking points that I need, so you win.
This Emperor Goku decision is what I always wanted. Side discussion was what I always wanted from a what if video game. Yep. I think the movie Akira would have been wildly different if the characters were swapped. I think Tetsuo had a dark and damaged mind before he got powers. While I agree that power corrupts, Tetsuo didn't seem to have a very strong character to begin with. I agree with you. But at the same time, we're talking about the absence of Canada giving rise for Tetsuo to then fill the shoes, right? So the power vacuum would then have the opportunity.
I don't know.
He wouldn't be a bad guy. Like that was the argument.
Yeah, that was the whole argument.
Yeah, but I don't think he'd rise to the same challenge the same way that Kaneda would. I just don't think he has that that steel deep inside of him. He would only take power if it was convenient.
Okay. I don't think there's an easy answer for Trigun. You could make a career in psychology or a class based on study what?
No shit. Sorry, I'm agreeing.
I thought you said oh shit.
No, sorry.
You can make a career in psychology or just a class based on studying the personalities of Vash and Knives.
You really could.
And to update last week, when I said I might watch Toradora, I did last week. I wasn't thrilled, wasn't terrible, but it didn't hold my interest. Yeah, that's fair. I don't think I ever finished it. All right, and now it's on to the best part of the show. The memes.
As always, all our memes come from Tumblr. No, Reddit.
Yep. Reddit, and in one case, Instagram, I believe.
Yeah.
Generally Reddit, but yeah, sometime. And of course, if you want to join our Discord, you can send us viewer memes that we will look at live on the air. We have 4 this week to get through. We tend
in the links below, we archive all the memes on our website so that you can view them in case Reddit or anyone else deletes them.
Which they are prone to do. All right, viewer meme number 1.
Oh my god.
When villains perishes again.
That's brilliant.
Oh, poor Krillin. But it'd have to be the big balls because the little ones can't resurrect someone more than once.
Shh.
Yeah. Number 2. Oh my god. School. Remember, kids, no one is perfect. So, once again.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Oh, I love that. That's brilliant.
It's the same voice actor. You dare mock the son of a shepherd.
Oh my god. Is it really the same voice actor? It must
No
be.
idea.
Well, I think in the English dub, yeah, I think it is.
And finally...
It's from Wint, of course. It's from Wint. I put years of hard work into getting my dark arts degree at Magic College, and now everyone's like, "Oh, necromancy's bad. It's forbidden. Fuck off!"
Nice. All right, on to my memes. I don't think any of us have any NSFW memes this week, unless
I got one that's a little risky, but fuck it.
Okay. But fuck it. Okay. Corbin needs to tell the difference between these two pictures. They're the same picture.
Yes, they are.
Good. So this has been making the rounds. The current voice actor of oh god, what's his name?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn, yes, has been actually making a bunch of these. So I say now, look at here, boy. You can't just go swinging around willy-nilly with them Cybermen. With your power level, you ain't got a snowball's chance in July. I've seen ears of corn with higher power levels, boy. Hey, stand up when I'm talking to you, son. And another thing.
Oh my god.
Poor Yamcha. Visualizing in the mirror the man I want to become.
That's a good visualization. That is a good visualization.
Tail meat.
God.
That's a lot of tail meat.
My friends, me randomly joining into the same lobby as them after I said I can't go next because I have other things to do.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh, it was a great scene.
Awkward.
And my last one's a video meme. I don't know if we've had this one before. I feel like we have,
I
but I don't
swear we
care.
have.
I think I did, yeah.
I don't care.
But it's still good.
Gonna get copyright struck so hard on it though.
That's a lot of penguins.
It's a lot. I don't even know what this is from, but it's amazing.
I think it's a movie.
Almost certainly. Alright.
YouTube is testing up to 10 unskippable ads before videos.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Dear god, 10! 10! That's insane!
Oh, but there's only
That
3
is.
seconds long, you know?
Well, I mean, that's 3 seconds of that ad left.
Of that
I mean,
one ad.
It depends on when they took the photo. Was it the
I
start of the ad or the
thought
end
it
of
was
the
the
ad?
start of the ad. Alright.
When you're watching the eclipse pass by and your friend pulls out a weird red stone with a face on it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Alright. Next one's a video meme. Oh no.
A path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I feel like that's spoilers,
Yep.
but I mean, you're not wrong. Right.
I will take your heart to replace the one you took from me.
Oh my god. Okay.
Deaf girl using sign language to communicate. Megami thinking she's unleashing her domain expansion.
Oh my god.
Oh no. And his
one
last
more
one is
video?
always a video. Yep, also a video.
What happens when you drink the potion? After you drink it, you turn into Ligma. What's Ligma?
Oh, Freeren.
Okay, moving on
I
to
just
mine.
love that how close that is on the screen. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Surprisingly sharp still, too. Look at her nose. What is with her nose?
My
Right.
god. My first one. This generation is a bit too comfortable with going to hell. This generation's hell.
I mean, yeah.
And that's not even hell, that's just Cerberus.
Judge, not guilty. You're free to go. Me, thank you. I won't do it again. Me, my lawyer.
I won't do it again.
Double jeopardy, though. You know, he's been found innocent. Not guilty.
But it's still funny.
Yeah.
Number 3.
What?
Cheap. With him getting a nosebleed.
Yeah, and then, everyone's super excited for the chibi version of
Chibi.
Frieren.
Ah, I see. Got it.
Yep. Girls who were blessed by God.
Oh my
Their
god.
blessings.
It's not true. Right. Oh, I almost used this one. I almost used this one. Oh.
Right, Nasuth.
Same here, I almost used this one.
And your last one is a video meme. Oh my god. Better than he deserves. I saw another similar one, like
memeable orange dictator.
I saw a similar one to that recently. That was Dennis Prager talking about how we have to wipe out the Italians.
Oh my god.
Well,
Right.
I know. I can't see a problem with that.
Anyway, so that's it for this week's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching or listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Kanpai!
I'm out of drink again.